And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of The Fae Live. Because I have to be Kevin Parr.
No, you don't. You be Joey Rose, because that's good enough. God damn it. There's your motivation for today.
That is my motivational speech. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Welcome, all of you lovely people in the chat to the Fae Live campaign, and all of you amazing players back to the table after taking some time off. I love you so much. It's been so great. We have our fantastic players here. We have the amazing Red Queen Hales. We have the incredible Super Goat Mustafa. We have Saint Verse, Dicecream Sandwich himself, and Dice Knight, fresh and live from New York City, baby.
Fresh and live from New York City.
Yeah. So for those of you who are in the chat, anybody who hasn't been here before, last week we did the Kevin's new campaign with a bunch of amazing creators called Wild Beyond the Witchlight, following along with the book Wild Beyond the Witchlight that was just released. That is a bi-weekly campaign, so it's out every 2 weeks. Every other week, hopefully, most of the time, we're going to be doing the Fae Lie campaign, which is a continuation of a campaign that we started a long, long time ago, closing in on a year ago now, if I'm not mistaken.
But at the same time, we started BTR, like a few months after.
Yeah, so essentially just over a year ago that we started this one. It's been a little bit more of a slow burn every 2 weeks-ish, but with a bunch of amazing creators following along through Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, the Critical Role book that explores the continent of Wildmount, the Dwendalian Empire, looking at places like the Kryn Dynasty and the Menagerie Coast. This is a mostly homebrew campaign. It's just using that as the setting because building a world sucks, I should know. But other than that, yeah.
We don't talk about that game, Joey.
We don't talk about that one. But that's a whole other thing. So, without further ado, with this campaign starting up today, let's go ahead and recap for anybody who hasn't been here for quite some time as to where this campaign started. So, give me a second here.
Oh.
Why is this being weird? 1 second. No.
Why is being weird?
Because
music.
music.
Why is this being weird? Oh, why is this
There we go.
You know what we should also do? We should at some point just get like each of the players to record a 5-minute bit of just like what they remember, and that is all.
Our own
and,
telephone about our own campaign, because it is the most casualist of casual games.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
If I remember correctly, I severed a golden dragon head, and I now wear it as ceremonial armor.
It should be like the interviews that people have during like those like reality shows, where it's like, I can't believe that Jeff said that about it's all just dish drama.
It is. It's gonna be like just all of that.
And Jeff goes to, I wasn't even there.
I'm currently working on a puppet show that's a reality TV show like that, so funny that you bring that up.
Best genres ever!
Frankly, it's a miracle that someone hasn't committed a war crime yet.
Oh my god, if we did like an Office-style bit in the middle of our campaign where we all just have our own interviews that George just throws up videos of, I don't know why he didn't want to buy something from the shopkeep. He had to just yell at him and try to punch him in the face.
Tried to punch him in the
face.
None
of them have any common sense ever.
Alrighty. So, last we left off. Set originally in the city of Hupperduke, a party of 5 managed to make their way out from Hupperduke and ventured south across the Dwendalian Empire into the farming city of Felderwin. At the behest of Jules' uncle, Zacharias Fowler, there had seemed to be some disruptions in his local business that needed to be attended to, and Jules and their party were tasked with coming down to Felderwin and resolving those issues, one way or another. Spending their time within the city of Felderwin, they started to find people had been going missing, individuals that maybe flew a little under the radar, like their disappearances were not the most critical things to how the town functioned, but were noticed nonetheless, and eventually realized, and through a series of amazing detective work, found a Rakshasa was living underneath the city of Felderwin, stealing individuals, stealing animals, and ensuring that no one lived to tell of its appearance. The city itself, none the wiser, managed to continue relatively unfazed, but with the discovery of this Rakshasa, the group managed to root it out and the Rakshasa self-identified as Reika was conducting a summoning ritual where it seemingly intended to sacrifice the entirety of the town to its higher powers. The lords within the 9 hells, those of Asmodeus, those of Belathiel, and a few others. But curbing the Rakshasa's plans, Reika was returned to the depths of the 9 hells from which it was wrenched, and Jules' uncle, Zacharias, placated that you had completed your task. You found yourselves the unknown saviors of the halfling and dragonborn-filled farming city of Felderwin. Managing to extract some valuable items from the hoard beneath the Rakshasa's summoning circle, unbeknownst to Zacharias, who you had promised the entirety of the treasure to. You took to the streets to celebrate the Harvest's Rise festival with the townfolk, and not an issue occurred. The people were smiling, happy, and unaware of the threat that once lay beneath the center of their simple farming town. Games were played, prizes and money were won, and you listened to the midday celebratory address of Starosta Theanor Whisperthin, the local halfling leader. With his speech coming to a close, marking the halfway point of the day's celebrations, you all decided to take your leave, ensuring not to be waylaid by Zacharias or any other townsfolk. Packing up the last of your things into the caravan and saddling up your horses, the 5 of you were ready to make your way out from farmlands and move on to the more bustling city of Rexentrum, the capital of the Dwendalian Empire. Looking over the map that you acquired before leaving Hupperduke a few weeks ago, you see that there are 2 paths to choose from, both well-traveled roads, each looking to take about 3 weeks to complete. One heading west through Zadash, then north up through the Zemni fields before reaching Rexentrum, while the other takes you back the way you came, north through the Marrow Valley to Hupperduke, and then west, passing by Nogvarat and on to the capital. So, group, as you start to climb aboard your wagon, grabbing the last of the things from within the city before you leave, what would you like to do?
Well, friends, it's been a time here, and I'm not going to lie, I'm happy that we're leaving. How do you feel about taking, I guess, a scenic route?
Sounds good to me. I mean, I'm kind of over all this hoodgity-boogity, crazy backwards hands tiger people. Ready for something new.
Yeah.
I certainly would greatly appreciate a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yes, Jules, as much as I love your family, I think I'm very much done with that.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed. Entirely.
Yeah. No families for a while. It'll be good. Be good for us. Yeah. So Zadash it is. Now, I have a really important question because we started the journey last time and we didn't do a lot of this, but does anybody have good road stories?
No.
Yeah. Well,
Good road stories.
this journey's gonna suck.
You hear this little tiny voice from the front of the caravan, having packed everything up and kind of covered in bags as all of you were tossing your things on. You hear Gilda poking her head out and just going, I've got one. I think it's a pretty good one.
Gilda here to save the day.
That little girl is extremely silent. I have to hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ, that scared the crap out of me.
For someone who talks so much about being prepared, you really were surprised by that one.
When do I ever talk about being prepared? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever had.
I don't know, you jumped into a lake and thought eating a fish would get you somewhere.
And it almost did! I was this close to breaking through with my telekinetic fish mind. Still getting used to it.
You know what?
One day, it's gonna come in handy, Margot, and you're gonna be begging, pleading me to talk to a fish that's gonna get us out of a jam, and I'm gonna put up the biggest fit.
I need you to reconsider what it is that you just said and ask yourself if that honestly made sense.
Nice.
Honestly, I feel like it would. I feel like we'll be good. It's gonna come in handy, and I, for one, would like to be on the fish's side when the fish apocalypse happens.
With how much meat you ate off those charcuterie boards, and I look at Jules like charcuterie boards? I'm surprised you mentioned wanting to eat fish.
Sure, that's the word.
Ain't nothing better than a charcuterie, you know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Mom, I want to go home.
No, just all right, fine.
I go over to Gilda and I help get all the bags and everything all set up for her.
All right, so you guys start to kind of pack things away a little bit less haphazardly as you've kind of pushed your way a little bit further out of the city, making sure that Zacharias didn't decide to just pop downstairs and see exactly if anything was missing from that horde below the summoning circle. You're a good couple of miles outside of town. Nothing super, super far at this point, but just enough to put a bit of distance between yourself and Felderwin. So you kind of pull off to the side and you start to reorganize the bags and actually put them in a bit of a more logical manner. And one of the things that does hit you guys at the moment is you're feeling a little bit lighter. Missing your colleague Nebula under rather mysterious circumstances that only Galahad really recognized. The caravan trundling on a little bit, realizing that his bags are there, but the man is not.
Damn.
I wonder if they used
My heart.
before they left.
I will say it's a lot quieter without the snide remarks. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's quieter.
Yeah, it is. It feels. You ever heard of those phantom limb stories? You know, when somebody loses a limb and then they feel like they can still feel it moving. It feels like I can still hear him around, but.
You see Gilda raise the half arm that she has and nod in agreement.
Yeah.
Every time I walk into a room, just gonna hear an echo. I cast divine sense. I cast divine sense. I cast divine sense.
Oh yeah, every time I hear the wind rustle through the trees, I just hear, I'm Nebula, I'm so smart, I'm gonna create chaos.
Divine sense. Divine sense.
It's just like that, Galahad. Thank you for the recording.
I just wish he'd given us a reason for him leaving.
Yeah, but I mean,
has he ever really been one for a reason?
Yeah.
He has a certain type of specific logic. It takes a bit of roundabout thinking, but he has a reason for everything he does.
Yeah.
Well, he's talked about how he had like a higher calling or something, right? That he was beckoned to certain places for certain reasons. Just had something more to do, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, you're right. That could very well be just it. You know what? We'll find out eventually what the reason was, but until then, we'll be fine.
Pretty sure if we ever run into him, either he'll hear an earful or we will. One way or another.
I feel like it's going to be both at the same time. We're both going to be talking. All of us.
Wonder if there's like some sort of message box we could leave somewhere as like an intermediary, you know, to like be able to catch up on whatever wacky adventures he's doing that we could set up somewhere.
I mean, if we're still bringing his stuff, do you think he'll come back eventually to come get it? I mean, what's even in this? Should we rifle through it?
I mean...
I'm gonna rifle through it. Jules goes to rifle through it. I'll rifle through it.
Okay.
Roll for rifling!
Jules has chosen chaos.
Yep.
Jules is like, I don't have to act like a lady anymore. Girdling.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, actually.
Girdling. Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Alright. Is it 19 plus 7, so 26.
Okay, off to a good start.
Off to a good start!
Good start.
I find all the shadow magic.
So, Jules, you looking through the armor, or through the bag that Nebula had packed, you see very little. Surprisingly little. As a changeling individual, Nebula was somebody that didn't tend to carry a lot of things with him. You see a series of, common clothes, one nicer set of fancy clothes. You guys have acquired the armor that Nebula extracted from the Horde already and left on the bed with himself, with all of his gear before he vanished. The one thing that you do find that is a little bit more interesting is there seems to be some kind of a small box of some kind, but it doesn't have a latch. It doesn't look like it has any hinges. It looks like it's 4 sides and then 2 ends, kind of a longer rectangular piece. And each of the sides have got alternating black and white wood pieces that almost create like a checkerboard pattern on each.
Damn.
Is that a game board?
It seems to be 8 long and then 2 wide on each side.
Can I make, an Arcana check?
Arcana wouldn't really be it. You can make just a general intelligence check for me.
Okay. That is a nat 20.
Nat 20.
Boom!
Okay.
Killing these rolls.
What is the total?
Yeah.
Because it matters.
Oh, shit.
That's a question.
Mm-hmm.
My intelligence bonus is a +4, so 24.
24. Okay. If this were to be laid flat, it would look potentially like a game board of some kind, an 8x8 grid game board. And you kind of shaking it a little bit. You don't hear anything, but just kind of turning it over in your hands, you find that there is a specific side that when it's facing up, you shake it a little bit, and there's a tiny bit of a rattle. So something is there, but you're not entirely sure what it is, and on a 24, you're unable to actually open it.
At a 24?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, seeing that and she's got a little bit of a spark. Just I want to know what this is. She's literally just gonna sit down in the middle of the wagon and try and figure it out.
Okay. So a little bit of the part of the first day. Sorry, go ahead, Margaret.
That reminds me. Does Jules say gonna figure this out out loud? I'm gonna dedicate.
No, but you just see her as she sits down and is staring very, very, very intently at it and trying to figure it out, moving it in her hands.
Okay. All right. Never mind then. All right, I was gonna do something if she said something out loud, but never mind.
Okay. So you just kind of see Jules turning it over on her hands a little bit, and occasionally, with a specific side facing up, shaking, and this tiny little bit of a rattle, pushing on any of the pieces, trying to figure out what it is, but seemingly, as best you can tell, it is a solid piece of wood.
Does anyone ever remember Nebula playing board games by himself?
The only games he ever played were games of the mind, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No idea.
That doesn't mean that this isn't one of those.
Maybe.
He was a clever bastard. I could see him potentially playing some sort of board game. Don't tell me that. If anybody tells him I said he's a clever.
Maybe Galahad should cast Divine Sense on it.
I cast Divine
In honor?
Do you actually?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah? Okay. All right, so you toss out the Divine Sense, and Galahad, your eyes just kind of close for a second, then reopen, a little bit of a shining shimmer yellow to them, and you kind of look at the
shimmering
yellow. As you see Jules is turning the box over and over again. You're trying to look for any kind of a crack, any sort of feeling of what might be inside, anything on the exterior, looking for any. As best you can tell, it is a solid piece of wood.
What if Nebula just left this board game here specifically because they know we would be obsessed about it and try to find its secrets when it has none whatsoever?
That does sound like something he would do.
What an annoying
That's
bastard.
definitely a possibility.
What an annoying bastard.
It's probably just a little metal bowl inside or something, or a cat toy.
Well, I mean, we have a genius. Gilda, do you know anything about
That's awesome.
I can take a look. And she kind of reaches over. Jules, do you let it go?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And Gilda will take
For
it.
Gilda, I let it go.
Can't let it go.
Let
For
it
Gilda,
go.
I'll let it go.
Let it go.
For Gilda!
You got the natural 20.
Oh,
She
no.
got the natty 1. She has no idea. She just starts looking at it and just like shaking it a little bit and like finds the angle that you showed her where it's when this specific side is up, it rattles a little bit. And you see her as somebody that is a tinkerer. She built metal robots. She was able to form all kinds of these constructs that she's been able to use. She essentially built her own mechanical arm. Built a train in the background. You see the frustration start to form on her face, and she like really actively, you can hear the wood kind of creaking a little bit as she's really starting to like just try pulling it apart in different ways until eventually just kind of
Jules takes it back.
and
Jules
just
takes it
tosses
back. Just is like, no. Back to me. You're not gonna
This is not for playing.
This is not playing.
Yeah.
Can I just shake it really violently? Do you think that might
No. Jules is not letting you have it, Margot.
I see how
That's
it
a
is.
fair. That's a
just
fair
has a
bet.
built-in trap that only when Margot touches it, it explodes.
No, I think
that
If
would be a
anyone was
Nebula
gonna
thing to
make that
do.
trap, it would have been Nebula.
You gabba your last ghoul, Margot.
You burned me once, I burn you back.
Sensitive to heat and intense hatred.
God.
Perfect. All right, so
But maybe if we at least keep it around with us, you know, that way Nebula will have a way to track us down and find us when
It's
he's
got
back.
some kind of writing on it. It says, "This is for the fireball."
Damn it!
I suddenly have the inability to read.
Margot casts Fireball?
I didn't! Well, Margot didn't.
Margot didn't.
Kind of. And a technicality.
Side off
we-
these
we-
out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There you go.
It's fine. I don't need to recount my salty.
He's been around.
How are we traveling, Geordie?
So, with Jules spending a fair bit of time looking it over, Margot, looking at it from a bit of a distance, with Gilda taking a look. First off, as well, who is actually driving the caravan?
I was just about to ask that.
So we've
It's on
established
Chris.
that it's not Gilda, Margot, or Jules. So which of the three remaining of you is actually driving the caravan?
It's
You
the
know what?
fucking
Fuck
horses.
it. I'll do it.
All right.
Give me
All
the
of a
brain.
sudden, Tokyo drifting fucking happens. Next thing you know,
Don't
we're
worry.
just
Walking alongside.
Don't
the
worry,
car.
Margot. If we get lost, I'll ask a puddle for directions.
Alrighty. Well, the first day heading out of Felderwin is not exactly that adventurous, right? You're on pretty commonly traveled roads. A lot of supply trips coming in and out. The roads are wide. They're well maintained. They're making sure that nobody who damages any caravan part of themselves has to pull off too far to the side of the road. You're looking at 60, 80 feet wide roads. Pretty big stuff, right? So the first day traveling through it, you don't really notice anything too interesting. Overnighting and camping, starting up the second day. Les, as the person heading this, go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Are we gonna have another one of those situations where we run into no encounters?
We'll see.
I don't.
Knowing
You know
my
what?
luck,
Hit the highway.
Chris won.
Crisp 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Storms start to gather pretty heavy overhead. First day out, the Harvest Rise Festival, a lot of sunshine, a lot of heat. You guys were pushing your way out, sweat starting to pool on your backs, water being passed around to ensure everybody stays hydrated during your first day on the road. About mid-morning on the second day, you see that the clouds have started to roll in overnight. The weather gets progressively worse throughout the day. By midday, noon, 1, 2 o'clock, the roads are sloshing. A lot of caravans have pulled off to the side of the road as these heavy rainfalls are starting to hit the ground. You guys have the ability to pull off to the side of the road, or you can try to continue on. What would you like to do?
I am living my best life, and I feel so hydrated with my slimy, smooth Triton skin right now. It's just shining, gleaming in the rain light.
In the rain light. Yes,
That's a thing.
that's a thing.
That's absolutely how
All right, so with you helming the caravan, it is getting a little bit bumpy. Is anybody up there with him, or are you still just doing it by yourself?
I'll be up there with him.
All right, Galahad's up there. So, Les, you can either roll, because you're the one actually driving this, you can either roll a survival check at advantage, or you each can roll one. What do you want to do?
Ooh.
Take advantage, my brother.
All right then.
All right, advantage.
I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but do you rust?
Oh shit, that's a good point.
That seems very personal.
Survival?
Survival.
That is a 21 and an 18.
Nice. Okay, so 21 at advantage.
17 natural 20.
Very nice. Yeah, so pushing through the second day, the weather is really starting to go. If you continue further on, you start to see a couple more caravans pulling off as evening pulls in. You guys, being one of the only caravans that's still running, you guys are actually making pretty good time. Les, you're keeping control of the animals and the horses very easily. You're riding the center line pretty much because there's just not a lot of traffic coming in either direction. People seem to know that these roads get a little bit slippery, but you are unfazed and your horses are as unfazed as you.
Horses are just big fish with hooves. It's fine.
I don't think that's... never mind.
Yeah. I'm gonna take out a notebook and I'm gonna write that down. I'm just gonna start writing down all of the Les Paul little acronyms and shit.
Just starting a Twitter account.
Les,
old
are you
Fishman
possibly
says.
thinking of seahorses?
Yeah, that's the one. Right, yeah.
I don't think you understand what that means.
Yeah, well, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
He's like, I don't care.
I don't give a shit. It's fine. We're good.
I'm past the point of asking questions anymore.
Awesome. All right, so you guys pushing your way through the second day. The rain is heavy. You overnight, you camp there. Nothing seems to transpire over the course of the evening. Second day pushing through in the rain. It lightens up a little bit, but it's still pretty heavy. Big puddles on the ground. You can see a couple of grooves where some caravans have started to veer off to the side a little bit. Just the gravel and the rocks starting to give way underneath the weight of some of the caravans. The second day passes without too much of an issue, and you overnight again on that day. Nothing really seeming to transpire. You're on pretty well-traveled roads so far, so it's more so the weather that'll waylay you than anything. On that fourth day, go ahead and roll another d10 for me, Les. Actually, Galahad, let's get you to do this one because you're up front as well. So roll a
He's
d10.
pretty much like a big weather vane anyway.
9.
A 9. Alrighty. So on a 9, you...
7 werewolves.
On a 9, you guys are used to the rain. You're drenched. You are sick of being up front. You specifically, Les is still enjoying the hell out of it. And then Les's mood starts to turn a little as the sun starts to come out. Beaming brilliant sunlight all throughout the course of the fourth and the fifth day. You guys are starting to make pretty good pace. You might have fallen behind a little bit during those rainy days, but with that survival check, you guys were able to push through, not really losing more than maybe a couple of hours at most. You didn't lose an entire day's travel. The fourth day and the fifth day, again, pretty unconsequential. Nothing really happening. Again, still on very common roads. More and more caravans starting to pass by. You see a couple of waves from a few of the caravans of smaller dwarves and quite a few humans coming out this way. Big rucksacks on their backs. Some just walking on big long sticks. Some half-orcs just kind of wandering down the road. Yeah, Les.
So this is day...
This is day 5.
5.
Yeah.
This is a bit backtracking, but we can just say it's just for this day particularly.
Mm-hmm. Just
as we've been traveling, just every now and again, just kind of like looking behind us to see if, I don't know, any of Jules' family spies are like following us this way or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any like notable caravans that maybe are like behind or I don't know, anything to that effect?
Yeah, go ahead and I'll get you and Galahad to each make perception checks for me.
All right.
Also, Jordy, during this time, can I break out that wand that I won and start like investigating it, looking more closely at it, just kind of trying to get a feel for it?
Absolutely. So, Les, Galahad, what are your perception checks?
That's another nat 20 for me, son. That's a 24 altogether.
24.
6.
Yeah.
Galahad, it has been raining. You are somebody that you're now worrying. I've been out in the rain for so long. Do I rust? With Les asking you that. You just like anytime you see a little bit of brown on your armor, you just okay, it was dirt. Okay, you're good. You're good. But Les, with you see almost more clearly in the rain than you do in sunlight. Everything
it improves my vision, actually.
It does. So you looking back. as best you can tell, there are a couple of people that have kind of followed the path that you're blazing, but a couple of them that have tried to keep up with you guys have actually been falling off to the side because they haven't been able to maintain the pace that you have. You've been doing very well. Best you can tell, even over the course of a sunny 4th day and now a sunny 5th day, there doesn't really seem to be anybody that's following per se. None of the caravans look like they are repeats in your vision. They more just look like assorted merchant caravans, a couple of people traveling on the side of the road. You see some houses off in the distance with some wagons being pulled and some carts, but that's about it.
Right.
Margot, as for the wand, did you want to attune to the wand or just kind of try and figure out what it does? Okay,
So
awesome.
I want to attune to it.
Yeah, so over the course of the time, and one thing we should also mention as well, because you guys do have some items that you have the choices if you want to attune to. Those are all...
I am definitely attuning to my goddamn amazing short sword.
Okay, so yeah, so there are quite a few items there. I think, Phelan, you were the one who got the armor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Oh.
I pinned everything in the chat, so you can just take a look at what those items are, so you know what they
I
are.
don't actually need to attune to mine.
You don't. Your charm is one that is surprisingly versatile that you can toss to somebody if you need to.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Let's pull. Look out.
Yeah.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant.
Avocado. Thanks.
Then I'll just, for brevity's sake, I'll also like take some time to attune to the armor as well.
Awesome. So the armor of fluidity, one of my favorite
Fluidity.
words.
Yeah.
Fluidity.
Oh damn, he's so fluid. Oh shit.
Oh, shit. So yeah, so for anybody in chat who is here, I am somebody that likes to give out magical items. So this party was supposed to hand over the entirety of the hoard to Zacharias, decided to keep a couple of things for themselves. So
And let your work go to waste? Jordan? Never.
it was supposed to be a very
you a
difficult
favor,
choice,
Jordy.
and Jules managed to convince Zacharias on a natural
Listen,
one because of
I
the situation.
finessed that hoe.
You did.
We
You
did.
woke him up before his wake up
hard.
time. You got him before he even had a cup of coffee in him to try and take a look and convince him that what you did was right, and then you pieced the fuck out. You did it.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah. So yeah, so all the love to the guys in chat. It's so good to see all of you guys. But yeah, so these guys picked up, Les has got a 9 lives stealer with 6 charges in it. Phelan has a homebrew item that I created called the Armor of Fluidity, which is essentially an item that has oil secretion that as you get hit, it drops the AC, but when it's fully fluid, it ends up having a larger AC bonus. Jules has an amulet of health, I think it is. That's what it's called. Yeah, I think it's Amulet of Health, so Constitution 19. Margot has a Wand of the War Mage +2, so very, very nice one for someone using spell sniping. And then Galahad got another homebrew one for me, a Charm of Heroism, essentially casting the Heroism spell and gaining some temporary hit points, which is pretty sweet little piece. But
Very spicy.
on that 5th day, things are starting to get a little bit on the boring side, but less... You start to see things are starting to turn a little bit up ahead. You see a lot more heavy, dense forest on the horizon, probably still a day or so out, maybe a day and a half, depending on the travel pace that you keep. And you guys consulting the map see that this is most likely what you're entering into, known as the Labenda Swamp. And there is another city that is within Labenda Swamp, a specific place called Bear Laben. Go ahead and let me just see. So Les, you wouldn't really know anything. Jules and Phelan, I'll get you guys to roll history checks for me on what you know of Bear Laben.
Alrighty, let's get that history, baby. Okay, that's this is 17, homie.
17.
Let's get it.
Jules?
Yeah.
History check. Jules?
My audio stopped working for a minute there. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no worries. History check for me.
History check.
That
History.
reaction was the best. Just
They're like,
4 plus 7, 11.
11. Okay. So, Jules, you're kind of focused on your puzzle box. You don't really care what's going on outside. It's been a little bit rainy. You're kind of content to just keep focusing on this thing. Still not really able to figure out too much about it. But Phelan, you remember a little bit about Bear Laben, specifically about Labenda Swamp as well. So Bear Laben, smaller city, usually a little bit over half human. In the couple of thousands of people, but nothing really stand out. The Labenda Swamp is not exactly the nicest place to call home. The city itself is more well known for people who are desperate to make a bit of coin rather than who are pretty well set off and able to find themselves in a larger city or in a situation where they can, enjoy being outside a little bit more. So a little bit more roughneck, a little rough and tumble. But it is a stopping point. It is somewhere that quite a few people do end up going. On a 17, you kind of vaguely remember that they're pretty well known for spirits, which makes sense given, that alcohol is one of the things that will raise the spirits of anybody, but that's about it.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, that's kind of about it. So you guys start to make your way in a little bit. Les, go ahead and make another D10 roll for me.
Okie dokie.
We're about to meet that bugbear that's... Nope, I'm
10 exactly.
Owlbear.
10 exactly, okay. On a 10, roll a D20 for me.
Oh,
shit. This is how much hit points you lose.
I don't know if I want this to be good or bad.
Oh, God.
That is a 19. These rolls are fucking great.
A 19. Okay. Yeah. So
19.
Dragon!
Alrighty, so here we go. As the road meanders, heading northwest from Felderwin, within about a week, in your case you've maintained a pretty good pace, so about 5 on your 6th day, you find yourself on the darkening ground of the Labenda Swamp. The stable dirt and gravel becomes soft, and the sides of the road start to form deeper trenches as the ground around the path shifts from shrubs and grass into willows and moss. The smell isn't unbearable yet, but it's far from pleasant. Sound of birds, squirrels, and mice have been replaced by a constant low buzzing drone of insects in the air and the occasional croak of a guttural toad. You start to round a series of bends. You notice that there are definitely some wagons coming through this area, but most people tend to be leaving from this area rather than going to. And on that 19, you start to hear a bit of a sound of a clash up ahead. It's metal on metal, and then an occasional yell and a scream. Some of them blood-curdling screams. You hear probably a couple of 100 feet up ahead over a small rise.
Can I pull back on the reins of the wagon for a sec?
Yeah, you pull back on the reins, and you see that there are a couple more wagons that are coming your way very quickly. A couple of very anxious-looking sheet-white dwarves and another halfling and a human on a wagon behind. Go! Get out of here! It's the Kryn! The Kryn are attacking! Go!
What the fuck is a Kryn?
They're the people from across. They're the people from across the mountains. The Kryn dynasty. They are the people who, for all intents and purposes, we are at war with.
Shit. Are those caravans coming? Wait, were they coming from behind us or
they're coming from in front of you? They're coming from the direction that you're going.
They're going away from the clashing.
They're going away from the swamp towards you guys, and then on back towards Felderwin.
Fuck. Okay, everyone, huddle up. Just, I'm gonna come to the back. I'm gonna come to the back of the wagon. Sorry, go ahead. Excuse me. Just gotta get over. Slide. Ouch! Just move your big metal butt.
Can I just grab Les by the collar of his shirt and just drag him in the back?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are we doing? What are we doing then?
Down on the ground. Kryn, up ahead, lots of screaming, lots of metal clashing. Some caravans ran past, very, very afraid. What do we want to do?
Fight or flight? I don't think flight is our way to go. But
should we, instead of just charging in on a horse and caravan, maybe park this thing over and get a bit of a closer look?
Yes, stealth might be good. And then we can see if we can figure out the lay of the land and maybe even getting some surprise attacks in.
Maybe.
Even out the odds.
Oh God, what the hell are they doing all the way out here for?
This is so far in. How?
Right? I thought, aren't there borders for this? Aren't they, how do they
There are mountains!
Right, yeah. This is really fucking weird that they're here right now, right? It's not just me. I've only been here for a little while, but I've heard a lot of crazy fucking shit about these people, and not all of them are good.
We are deep into our country. They could not have made it into the Empire this easy. Okay. What
If they're
does
fighting with the Empire, do we have the Empire? What do we do? You know more about this shit than I do.
We are Crown's Guard. Technically.
True.
Technically.
And we have essentially pledged allegiance to the Empire. I have complicated feelings about this. I don't think either sides is safe. I say we go in and end the dispute either way. Just at least find a way to stop it for now. Maybe try and use non-lethal force so at least the Empire can deal with the rest of it.
But from my position at the front of the wagon, am I able to see the actual conflict take place, or is it still too far away?
So it's not that it's too far away, it's that there's a bit of a rise in the grounds, and you see these wagons that are coming down the rise. You can make your way up to the top, probably about 120 feet or so, to the top of the rise, and that might give you a better viewpoint. You do notice, though, that these two wagons that came through, and the ones yelling, "Shit, get out of here, it's the Kryn! They're attacking, get out!" They are the only ones that have continued down the path, and everybody behind you, upon hearing that, you've heard like horses getting pulled hard back on the reins and pulling off to the side. Some people entirely even turning around. Again, looking at them, you see their faces going a little sheet white.
I'll stop the wagon.
Okay.
I think Les's idea was good.
Hearing Phelan's thoughts about the Kryn getting this far in, does the panic in the people coming down the hill, does that seem genuine?
Make an insight check for me.
Oh shit, you fucking smart.
Galahad, bullshit meter is at 100%.
15 plus 3, 19.
19? Yeah. These people are getting the fuck out of Dodge. You look back and you're like, were they serious? And you see them just keep on fucking going. And occasionally you hear another loud scream and this gurgle from the other side. Probably a good, you're not entirely sure of range, maybe 200 to 400 feet away, but loud enough that something is happening on the other side of that ridge.
All right, we should probably check it out. I'm going to hop down from the wagon.
Why don't we go and hug the tree?
Wagon.
Hug the tree line?
Yeah.
Don't have
Wagon is parked.
Wagon is parked?
Yep, it's in.
I've brought up the brake.
Okay.
Put up the clutch.
Yeah, clutch up.
I'll
Clutch is the name
go
of
ahead
it.
and try and take the lead if that helps at all. Just because I feel like Galahad is a little clunky. I don't.
Do you want to maybe take like a side-on flank while I go straight up? You know, it's not really going to help if the metal man tries to stealth. That's just never going to work.
Do you want team on one side of the road, team on the other side of the road, like hugging the tree line, and then you go in the middle?
I'll go to the right
I'm
side.
down for that plan.
Sounds Gucci.
Cool.
3-point advance.
Yeah,
So-
it's like a trident.
Mm-hmm. Trident
like
formation.
I like
There we
that.
go, boom.
That's the best formation. So
We're already
Margot,
getting fight tactics down. This is great. All right.
Margot and Moose, you'll go one way. Me and Jules go the other, and just Galahad in the middle. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Good. All right.
Should
I'm
we?
just going to make sure that
Yeah.
my Crown's Guard badge is not on my jacket. I'm just going to tuck that away, just in case that causes problems.
Okay.
Smart. Fair.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna just try to hide myself as best I can in this tree line with Jules, and then give them the signal of use your talkie head thing in here from now on.
Oh, so you know how to use it now. They do the...
He won't freak the fuck out. Oh, God.
Water,
he will.
Water. I miss water. Man, I really am. My skin is so dry right now. I wish I had some more water. I miss the rain. I miss the plane of water.
Jules cuts the connection. I can't handle it.
All right. So you guys starting to push your way up to the top of the hill, kind of pulling the wagon off to the side. You quickly tie off the horses, make sure that they're not going too far away. You find a big log on the ground that you can kind of affix them to. You know, it's before the swamp is getting too heavy, so you figure you'll probably be okay to kind of let things continue on. You head up about 100 feet or so. You start to crest the top of the hill, and it eventually reaches a point just over the top where you can start to see down a little ways. And you can see that the hill is a very gradual drop off, but it is effectively just a nice little hill. And as you look down, you see what looks like a very dark, tall, lithe figure, maybe six and a half feet tall. You're not entirely sure at this distance. You're still probably about maybe 190 feet away or so. But this very lithe figure in this tight black armor and a long cloak with what looks like fur tipping the top and tipping the bottom of it, holding a very, very long set of rapiers. On the other side, you see that there looked to be a fairly large wagon, maybe 25 feet long, 10 to 15 feet wide, big symbols of the Empire on the side of it. A big shield crest over the front, depicting that it is an army wagon of some kind. And alongside the wagon, you see standing 2 Crown's Guard soldiers and 4 more laying on the ground, reaching desperately for their blades, but looking badly injured. One of them possibly already dead.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, God. I'll turn back to Margot and say, okay, I guess we have to even up the odds a little bit. If this is army stuff, then the odds and the chances of getting this in the Kryn's hands is gonna be terrible. We need to make sure that doesn't happen.
What should we do? Should we wait for Galahad and the others, or go?
I mean, I'm sure they'll be seeing this anytime now, and.
So what you're saying is take a pot shot. I could take a pot shot. Do you need me to take an AM?
That is exactly what I'm saying. Yes, I think.
Say less.
We get ready.
So Jules, it's not checkers, right? It must be chess. Because of those pieces off the side there, the way it's orchestrated, it can't just be. Like, just normal thing. It's got to be something like crazy, like from another galaxy or
Is
something.
now the time?
Oh, shit! Okay. I notice what's going on with the Kryn overtaking the Empire here. Can I see Margot and Musadal on the other side?
You guys can. So the road at this point is probably about 50 feet wide or so. It's starting to narrow a little bit. This looks like it is something where the road narrows a fair bit and it goes to kind of more single lane traffic, maybe 2 carts if they squeak by each other. But with the swamps on either side, people are making sure that they're being safe rather than anything else. So you guys are able to see each other unless you wanted to start making your way off into the swamp.
Nah, not.
I think let's stick to eyesight.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking had signals at the two or three you being like, do we go? Do we stay? Do we?
How many feet
Knock
away?
the fuck up.
How many feet away are
Make
we?
a perception check.
6 plus 2, 8.
8. Couple hundred, maybe 150, 200. You're really not sure. It's a bit too different. But as you kind of take
I
a
meant
look.
how far away are like the group?
Oh, from you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's kind of up to you guys. Are you on either side of the road? Are you pushing out in the swamp? Are you on the road together? What's going on?
So the 3 groups, the Trident formation, Galahad's in the center because 0 stealth capabilities, and then on one team is Jules and Les Paul, and the other is Phelan and Margot.
Okay, so are
that's-
you guys staying on the
middle of the road, side of the road.
Okay, so yeah,
I
so
want to
you're-
stay within 30 feet of each other.
yeah, so you're easily able to do that. Galahad is probably about 20 feet ahead. The road is about maybe 25, 30 feet wide or so. So you guys are about 25, 30 feet wide at any given point. You can easily stay in a 30-foot triangle as you start to move forward.
Is this on roll 20 so we can see?
It will be once you get closer.
Okay.
Got it.
I'd like to get closer.
I would like to get closer.
Yeah, definitely. I want to whisper to Jules, and just mention, with us going into Rexentrim, the Empire capital, might do us some good change to help out some of the local guard. Might get us in a few doors that may be closed.
Definitely.
All right, you
But we
give
don't
me.
want
No,
to. We don't want to enter anything that we can't win.
Right. Okay. You just let me know.
Okay. No. I'm gonna pull out a dagger and like just have it at the ready, so that way I can like one of my returning daggers, I believe is what they were called. So I can
Daggers of the Aeons.
Yeah. Daggers of the Aeons. That's even better. That's not what I meant. But I will have those ready so I can like throw one at it
Okay.
as we need.
I ready up Scorching Ray, and let's see here. Yeah, I ready up a 2nd level Scorching Ray, and I'm just gonna have the 3 little balls of fire slowly circling my hand before I shoot them off.
All right, sounds
Dope.
good. So you're doing that kind of right as you walk into that range to make sure you don't waste it. Are you guys trying to be stealthy, or are you just going?
I'm not.
Stealthy.
Stealthy.
Stealthy. Okay, everybody go ahead and roll stealth checks for me.
No.
How
28.
That's a 4.
16.
16 for me as well.
16, 28 for Phelan, 4 and 6, God, you said?
Oh no, I'm not rolling for stealth.
Oh, you're not. You're just going.
No, I'm in the middle of the road. And I'm full
Middle of the
pelt
road,
sprinting.
full pelt sprinting. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so you guys start to make your way up. Jules, you not exactly the quickest individual. You and Les kind of just off to the side. He's trying to get everybody going, and he's very much used to kind of wading through a little bit of muck on the side of the road. Your boots are slopping a little bit. You're kind of catching yourself, and you stumble a little bit forward. Not making a huge amount of noise because you're not wearing heavy armor or anything, but enough that somebody, if they're paying attention, would notice. As you guys are starting to get closer, this individual does not seem to be paying attention. Is very much in combat as you see this long rapier get stabbed into the ground through the chest of one of the Empire soldiers that's now laying there motionless on the ground. I'll go ahead and give you guys your Roll20 map.
God.
Oh my
Merkin.
This just says TPK. What the hell is this?
Anybody else suddenly have a craving for kebabs or anything like that?
Oh no.
K-Babs.
Kebab.
All right, you guys are on the traveling map now. It should be just kind of middle top is where you should see it. I'm just going to quickly pull this up on stream so they can all see it as well.
Ooh, zoomed in. Way too far. Dang it, roll 20.
Oh shoot, I haven't done this in a minute and I pulled up the wrong Roll20 link.
Oh, just make it. Sweet.
I felt that in my heart.
Hang on.
We're all just well put together individuals. I don't know what anybody could ever think otherwise.
Guys, it's Philip. He's on a mad killing spree.
Philip!
Well,
Curse
I'm
your
worried.
summon, but inevitable betrayal.
oh, so like we had a friend who was tall, but and like was also had ties to the Kryn, but he didn't have fur though, so that's fine.
Alrighty, so there you go. So now you can see at this point, Galahad, you traipsing down the road. You're about. We'll kind of theater in the mind this because Margot, you had said that you were going to kind of hold that until you were in range, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to fire it off as soon as you got in range, or did you want to keep holding it?
I think I'm going to wait for some inevitable, go.
Okay. All right, so you kind of keep half summoning and then canceling, and half summoning and canceling, just making sure that you don't use the spell slot. You guys progressively get closer and closer forward. Galahad, you're still going at this point. Now you're about 35, maybe 40 feet away from this individual, and you see that a couple of the remaining soldiers, the 2 that are still standing, starting to back off a little ways. Both of them looking relatively uninjured so far. A couple of nicks and scrapes there, but nobody really falling. Less.
With DM question for the great and powerful Jody Rose.
Yes,
Oh
my god.
That
was me, I'm sorry.
Telekinetic movement.
Yeah.
Loose object, large or smaller. Does that doesn't pertain to weapons? Question mark.
Oh, are you gonna pull a straight up Alucard a la Castlevania and just fucking take that brief?
Loose weapon means a weapon that is not currently in the possession of an individual. So if it was something on the ground, one of the ones that one of the dead soldiers had dropped, you could grab that. One that is being actively held by somebody, you wouldn't be able to pull it out of their hand.
Second part to that question.
Yep.
Could I chuck one of my daggers to knock out his rapier from his hand?
You can attempt to make a disarming attack. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you just said he just has one rapier that they're wielding.
Two
right?
rapiers, one in each hand.
One in each hand.
Correct. Yeah. Disarming attack is specifically a battle master maneuver, though.
I thought there was something about there was a general check to knock a weapon out of someone's hand from.
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking right here. A creature can use a weapon attack to knock a weapon or another item from a target's grasp. You have to do so in combat. With an
we're not in combat.
Correct. So so it's essentially athletics contested by athletic. You're essentially making a grapple check to try and disarm the weapon.
Okay.
As I'm running towards this individual, I would like to activate the Charm of Heroism.
Alrighty, activating the Charm of Heroism. Mm-hmm. And can you remind everybody what the charm does?
So, for the next minute, I immediately gain 10 temporary hit points and am under the effect of the Bless spell requiring no concentration. So I can add 1d4 to any attack roll or saving throw I make until the charm ends. Beautiful. I don't think it's skill checks, but that's whatever.
Correct. Attack roll or saving throw only. So we'll go ahead and give you... here, you're a hero. You've got a little...
Oh my god.
Strongman thing beside your name.
Alright, so I'll add my HP, and then I'll do temp HP.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Good.
My AC here.
Okay. So, things getting a little bit more tense. You start to make your way a little bit closer. Galahad, you're traipsing down the road. You see this rapier get withdrawn. This Kryn warrior, you see this very lithe drow, darkened skin, kind of longer white hair. Definitely does look a little on the injured side. Does not look like whatever he is. He's at full health by any stretch. You can see a little bit of a tenderness as he takes a step back from the two remaining soldiers, but is more than halfway through these soldiers. What would you like to do?
I am still sprinting full pelt.
Okay.
And once I get into range, I'm going to take a swing, whether that is this turn or the next.
Okay. So let's go ahead and roll initiatives at this point, everybody.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god, where did that even go?
That is my third natural 20 for this evening, everybody.
Buddy, that new dice tray doing you well.
That's right. Yeah. We will be revealing said secret dice tray.
Hell
later
yeah.
this week.
I got a 14, Jordy.
14, okay. Sounds good.
I got a 20.
Nice. Give me one sec here, and I'll just pull up a note that I can write this down. Okay, so initiatives, 25 to 20.
22.
20.
Okay. 22.
I always do shit on initiative.
20 is Jules. Okay.
22 was me.
22 was you, okay. Okay, 20 to 15?
18.
18, okay.
Flat.
And I have a 16.
16 for Phelan. Okay.
And 14 for me.
Damn, you guys all did good. That's awesome.
Yeah. And now we're fine.
And now you die.
No.
That's where you think that's where you think wrong. That's
I
where you
don't-
think wrong.
Alrighty.
Out of the 7 D4s I have in this bag, it took me about 20 dice to actually find one.
Oh, God.
Okay. Alrighty. So, top of the order, Les, you're up first. You start to see the Kryn take a half a step backwards and definitely is kind of leaning on a leg that does look like it's been injured in some way. What would you like to do?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know what? I was gonna just maybe try to do something sneaky and go into the trees over here. Because we're kind of out in the open. Does this individual see us, or is their back turned towards us currently?
Their back is currently turned towards you. Galahad at full sprint has caught the attention of the individual, and you've seen them kind of look over their shoulder. You're not sure if they've caught and gauged the rest of you, but it seems like they at least know Galahad is coming.
Okay. And so now we're in combat. If I wanted to, I'd try to throw my dagger to toss out the rapier.
No, disarming attack, you have to be in melee range.
Melee.
You're essentially
okay.
grappling him to grab his sword and take it away from him.
Okay. See, I can move 30 feet, so I can only get there, and if I dash, I'll be in there. You know what? I'm gonna just run to the tree line right there.
Okay. And
if he hasn't caught my attention, I'm gonna try to attempt just to like get closer without him seeing me, if that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can run straight across into the tree line. You're 30 feet. Did you want to use your action to dash?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first bit of movement will take me to about there.
30 feet. It'll take you. Whoops. Jeez. Moved that map by accident. So first feet of movement will take you to here.
Yep.
And then, so you can move onto that square there. That square right there.
So around there.
And then you get another 30. And the trees, and anywhere that you are on a tree is considered full cover because you can hide behind the tree unless you're actively peeking out trying to take shots or something.
Okay, brilliant. So with my second part of movement, I'm going to position myself there.
Okay, sounds good. So you're kind of getting right up to the edge of the tree line and taking a look over. Make just a quick perception check for me. We'll say just as part of your movement, getting a little bit closer.
Perception. 16.
16, okay. So yeah, getting a little bit closer, you can definitely see the wounds on this individual are quite deep. There are lots of gashes of darkened, kind of crimson, maybe almost black blood that are starting to leak out onto the ground. Doesn't look like they're on death's door by any stretch, but they're definitely hurt. The two guards, on the other hand, both of them have taken a little bit of damage, but are looking scared for their lives. They are looking down at the ground of their 4 slain enemies, and this creature that has not gone down, even against 6 of the Empire soldiers.
Is it an action to drop my shield to be able to use 2 weapon fighting?
No, if you just want to drop something, it's free action.
So I have the shield kind of on my back. Yeah. I've kind of snuck into this tree line, and that 9 lives short sword kind of sheathed into my belt. I just want to quietly start to take off the shield to be less encumbered, and then start to pull the short sword, and then take out one of my daggers and just get ready with both of them.
2 blades.
Drawing my hands, hiding in the tree line, ready to strike.
All right, Les, that's going to be your turn. After you come to Jules.
Cool. And it's this guy right here, right?
Yeah, it's the one's kind of standalone guy.
Okay, cool. I am going to check how far away I am. Yeah. I'm going to take a step here in the tree line, trying to keep partial cover at the very least.
Yep.
I'm going to bonus action hex this individual.
Okay. Creature is hexed.
And extra
strength.
I'm going to choose one ability, I guess dexterity. He's going to be bad at being dexterous.
Okay.
He's got disadvantage. And then I'm going to fire off my 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Hex is ability checks, not saving throws, or is that the other way around?
Correct. Ability checks. Yeah, that's unfortunately it's kind of the downside is mid combat.
No, it's good.
It's good. It's a better hunter's mark in some respects, but it's more so around things and this is a perfect example, when used in combo with grappling, you could make it force him to make strength checks or dexterity checks at disadvantage.
At disadvantage, yeah, that's good.
Right.
I like
so,
that.
So, Jules, first attack.
I rolled a 27 and an 18 for my Eldritch Blast.
27 hits, 18 misses.
The 18 will miss.
What?
18 misses.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
People with
Here we go.
All right, so I roll a D8 and then I add a +6.
Yep.
Or I added D6. 4, 4, 8 plus my agonizing blast of +5.
Wait, did you roll a D8 for Eldritch Blast?
I did roll a D8. Shit, hold on.
I was gonna say
it's a
Let me
D10.
roll my D10.
You got more.
Oh, shit, that's a 2. 6 plus 5 is 11.
11.
I deal 11 damage.
I'm gonna go.
11 points of damage. So, Jules, you kind of making your way 30 feet off into the side. You can move 1 square further over into the tree line if you want to actually get cover. Right now, you're still out in the open.
Yeah, I'll take a step back into the tree line after I pop
fire off your 2 shots. The first one impacting on the backside of the shoulder, kind of shunting the creature's shoulder forward. You almost hear the sickening pop as the shoulder pops out, and then it just whips around and almost sees the second attack coming, and you see it kind of shimmer and shift out of the way as the second attack comes in and impacts against it. Or impacts against nothing and just kind of passes harmlessly by.
Cool.
Golly. Holy wowza.
All right, that's your turn?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So
that is a Magic the Gathering card, not a spell.
Yes. Alrighty, so that is going to be your turn. After your turn, we come to the first of the guards. One of the guards getting a bit of a jump on the combat. He is going to go ahead and make a wisdom save, which he fails. He is going to hold in place and take the dodge action, unable to enter into combat, seeing all of his dead allies on the ground beside him. This guy right beside the caravan is taking the dodge action. We're going to say he's hurt. so he's dodging. Okay, after him, though, we come to the Kryn Warrior with a 19. So, this individual...
Gets in his car. Okay.
Sorry.
That leg in and books off.
He gets in his Mustang.
Invisible jet.
Okay, so
Drives down the Brooklyn Bridge.
now really realizing that the people behind are individuals that he does not seem to be afraid of him in comparison to these guards. You see
we
him,
are afraid.
Well, hang on. He's
Very afraid.
you see him kind of just take a bit of a step forward, and you start to see that he takes a step, but then a shadow takes a second step off of him.
That piece of shit.
Echo Knight piece of crap.
Another shadow copied version of himself, just this darkened, fully coalesced shadow, but still forms into an actual version of this figure, indistinguishable from the individual, takes a series of steps forward to there, and is going to go ahead and make 3 strikes against the guard.
I hate this!
I fear I may have girl bossed a little too close to the sun.
You know what, actually, let's make first... We'll do this one at a time, just in case. So, first strike against the guard. Ooh, I think that's going to miss.
Ooh, no.
So,
His Echo has 3 attacks?
yeah,
It's gonna be some shit.
14 misses. Second attack against the guard is a 16, which is going to hit. And the third attack with the rapier is a 17, which is also going to hit. So he's going to take 2d8.
Jesus.
10 plus 8 is 18. The guard falls as the rapier takes a heavy strike or heavy swing back from the shadow version, and just kind of slicing through the air. The guard ducks underneath the first one, kind of looks and follows the blade as best he can, and then looks back up at the creature, and then the blade just twists back in midair and 2 strikes down over the bent over guard as he instantly falls to the ground dead from 16 points of damage.
Oh god. Weak ass.
But that coalesced shadow is there now. That is the Kryn's turn. Let's go ahead and go to Galahad.
Alrighty. The original non-shadow version is just 30 feet away. So, I'm going to run up, sword and shield out. I'm just going to do a charging slam with the shield, make my first attack as I do so.
Hell yeah.
Flat 19 plus 9.
Flat 19 plus 9.
No, actually, it's plus 10 because I got the bless, and it's plus 6 to attack.
Yeah.
So 29 to hit.
29 to hit.
Holy one.
With that heavy strike, you see that shadow having stabbed into the guard twice. Kind of take a look back and hear the heavy footfalls of you running down, blade drawn, about to make a strike, and you see that shadow vanish in place and reappear directly beside this individual, attempting to take the strike for it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And with that, attack roll that triggered the reaction is instead made against your Echo. So you impact against the Echo, and
How am I jumping all the way?
and with that,
I hate
the
Echo Knights.
is dispersed
Echo Knight armies are fucking ridiculous.
as it does impact against it harmlessly. Unfortunately, the first attack falls on the shadow.
That's
Fantastic.
fucking too bad.
I would like
Now to kill him.
I would like to shove the actual character to the ground.
So, in case anybody didn't notice, Ivy just gave all of you inspiration of a D4.
Hey, we are gonna probably need it.
I might just have to disable that command for members of the streams. But you've all got a D4 of inspiration. Galahad, your second attack.
So feel free to make either a athletics or acrobatics check against my shove. Which does not have
athletics or acrobatics?
Yeah, whichever. It's a shove.
Okay. Ooh, that is not good.
+3. No, +6. Mine's 21.
That's an 11.
Yeah, baby.
So, after the charge, I grab the shield and I just slam him up and drop him onto the ground. He's now prone.
He's prone.
Yes.
Okay. He's
You
down
are
on the ground,
amazing.
prone.
Which sets me up for attack number 2 with advantage.
Yes, it does.
Rolled a 3 and a 4.
Oh,
Tragic.
5 plus... Nah, there's nothing I can do to augment that. I'm just gonna miss.
All right.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, so
was
you
so
with that.
ready to.
So the first strike, the shadow just teleports in the way as the blade is coming across, and it just appears right beside you and almost grabs the blade, and it passes through into the shadow and then disperses it into the air with the momentum carrying through. You take your shield and slam him down onto the ground successfully. Looking up at you, desperately trying to make a move, you see his shadow starting to coalesce again, and you slam the blade into the ground, unable to make a purchase, unfortunately. But he is still prone.
I end my turn.
You end your turn. All right. After you, we come up to Phelan.
Hell yeah! All right, I am going to first off run forward and make a move 30 feet to make it up here. And that will put me within 20 feet of him, which I am then going to take my action to pull out one of to have the dagger that I have in my hand, the dagger of Ion, and throw it at him and see if that hits.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. And since he's prone, is it still advantage?
It is still
mark?
advantage. Sorry, if you're throwing a dagger, it is a disadvantage.
Sorry.
You have to be engaged with the creature for it to be at advantage. Anything ranged becomes
Dang.
disadvantage if they're prone.
Okay, you know what? Luckily, I'm a rogue. I
Bonus
got
action,
bonus
baby.
action dash, baby.
Let's go.
Bonus action dash.
All right, so you're
I'm
going to
within-
dash right in. Now you've got
Yeah.
advantage on your attack. Go ahead and make your strike.
Cool. Yeah, since I said I'm already holding that dagger, I'll go ahead and let's see. Oh god, the first one is a 5. Please, second one be higher. No, that is not. That is a nat 1, baby.
What is happening to us?
So I rolled a 12 and for a total of 12 and a nat 1.
Yeah, 12 unfortunately
So-
is not going to do it. As the creature
Yeah.
on the ground, the shadow is starting to form again. You're not quite able to find exactly which one, and you stab into one of the forming shadows you think is going to be the head, and then it just disperses as the blade strikes the ground.
Okay. Then I'm going to say, okay. Here's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put my dagger up again, and I'll say, you leave these people now. Leave them as they are, and we leave you unharmed. And that's all in my turn.
Go ahead and make an
I say
intimidation check for me.
Okay, let's see. All right, I got +1. That's not too bad. Now I roll an 18, piece of shit. That's a total of 19.
Total of 19.
oh shit! You're serious?
Okay, all right, good to know. So 19 on intimidation. That's going to be your turn. After you, we come up to the second guard with a 15, who is dead. So Margot, go.
Who is it?
Bottom of the
Brilliant
round,
turn.
Margot. Less, you're on deck.
Cool. Let's see here. I probably don't hear any of this considering how far I am. So, let's see here. I'm just gonna move right here so that way I can get a healthier line of shot over Galahad.
What?
Yeah, so I can pot shot Galahad in the head too. And then because I already readied it, I'm just gonna commit to doing that second level Scorching Ray.
Okay.
Just aiming. So let's see here.
So you are going to be at disadvantage with that because it is a ranged attack against a prone creature, just as a heads up.
Yeah, thanks. It's great. Great deal.
sorry.
Well, that's not bad because I rolled over a 12 for each one. So let's see here. That's a 21 on my worst.
And is that with your new Wand of the War Mage?
That is.
Yeah, it is. Good job. 21 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. That's for my first Scorching Ray.
Yeah, first Scorching Ray.
So 2d6. Okay. That's 5 for that first ray.
5 for the first, okay.
Mm-hmm. Not very good on that one, but that's okay.
Not the best. That's why you get 3.
All right. Second
attack.
one. Let's see here. Ooh, that is a 17 plus an 8.
At disadvantage?
So, yes.
Very nice. Okay. All right. Second one. Damage on the second.
Hales is the first person to land an attack.
That's 6 on that second.
I landed an attack. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Sorry. It was overshadowed by you rolling a d8.
And I still roll better on the D8, so I don't want to hear it.
God, this Wand of the War Mage is saving my ass right now. Okay, so on the third one, I rolled at disadvantage. I got 10 plus 8, so I'm 18 on that.
18 just misses.
No.
Unfortunately, 18 is a miss. But the Wand of the War Mage, it's like your DM custom gives the right items for you guys or something.
Damn.
Oh.
No.
Anyway.
I love that.
First 2 strikes as Margot, as you're stepping your way forward and you're summoning the fireballs one after another. The 3 rays impact, 2 of them impacting against the creature, and the third one sees it coming in, starting to work its way through Galahad's legs and impact against the chest, and he's just barely able to dodge out of the way. Unfortunately, with the third one missing, but 2 strikes, still doing some damage.
Zoom.
All right. Do you want to move anywhere? You've used 15 feet of movement, so you got 3 squares.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm just gonna step a little bit further back.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it.
Still
Further back?
All right. Still good. Okay. Top of the round. Les, Jules, you're on deck.
I sent you a question earlier. Did you get it?
Checking. No.
Damn.
It is considered
okay, never mind.
for the purposes of what you're trying to do, it's considered gargantuan.
Damn.
It's 5 by 5.
I asked Jordy if the wagon was a large object so I could just move it onto him and pin him down. Okay. I am well hidden here. He does not see me. I can easily get in there.
He is still prone.
Fish attack. Throw a fish at him.
Piranha!
Yeah.
Just come out with a huge meaty salmon and just pap, just right across the face.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's do what fighters do. Hurrah! Into the fray.
Into the fray. All right.
Gonna make my first attack with the 9 lives Stealer short sword, and then with my 2 weapon fighting, make an offhand attack with my dagger, both pumping them up with psionic energy, so they'll both get an extra D8 of hits.
So remember, you're also at level 5 now, so you've got multi-attack.
I do, so I can attack twice and do that 4 times in a round. So let's go.
So
let's go. I'm just gonna roll. Yeah, we'll do this.
Do them one at a time because of the 9 life stealer crits. It's scary.
That's true. That's true.
God.
Okay, 9 lives coming at you.
Come on, please. Just demolish.
23 to hit.
23 hits. Roll damage on that one.
Okay, so that is going to be a D6 plus 7 plus a D8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to roll these 6 and an 8. It's going to be a plus 10.
Okay.
That's 6, so that's 16 points of damage on the first one.
Okay, 16 on the first.
And then we're going to do the offhand with the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 4 plus 6. That won't do it. Right? Nope.
Nope.
Nope. So second one for the extra attack.
At advantage because he's prone.
Oh, that's true.
This works great for melee.
Son of a... It was like 28. So 8 plus 6, still not enough.
Yeah, still not enough.
All right, so those attack number 2.
Plus 6?
Yeah, so that plus 6 for my dagger.
Oh, sorry, you're not doing the second short sword attack.
So I was doing hit with a short sword, 2 weapon fighting, hit him with a dagger, extra attack, hit him with a short sword, hit him with a dagger.
Okay, so it's so extra attack is when you take the attack action, you attack again. The offhand is just a one-off. You don't get 2 of those. So it's short sword, dagger.
Okay, well then I guess that would be.
So the dagger would have missed, but now you've got the extra attack, so you've got the third one, which is going to be the second short sword attack. So go ahead and make that one again at advantage.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
No worries. It's been a minute since you were in combat as a player.
That is true. That's 14 plus 8. That'll definitely do
22
some.
is definitely going to hit. Go and roll damage on that one.
All right, so we will pump this second psionic power into this one. And so another D6, a D8 plus 10. Fucking. That is 16 again.
16 again. All right. Definitely starting to look very bloody to this point. You can see the creature that was already looking pretty rough is definitely starting to look pretty close to...
Did somebody say action surge?
Yeah, baby.
All right, 2 more.
If this guy goes to 0, I want to do non-lethal damage. I just want to knock him out.
All right.
I don't want to kill him.
You just want to knock him unconscious. He's not on death's door, but like he's looking very badly injured.
But if I crit,
if you crit, he has to make a con
just
save.
dies. Okay. But regardless, for whatever reason, if it get him past 0, I want it to be noted
Non-lethal.
as a bonk on the head knock at the end.
Gotcha.
All right. Short sword advantage. That is a natural 20, Jordy. Let me just say, that is a natural 20 right there.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that Sauron die was only supposed to be used for your players.
It's used for when I need it to work. Let's go.
So, Kevin, what happens on a natural 20?
You tell me. This is your game.
You have the card with the weapon.
Homie about to fucking
fuck! That's right! Oh, shit! I fucking do! Damn! Yeah! Fuck!
His soul about to get ripped out of his...
It's about to be the 3 life stealer.
Yeah. So this is the 9 lives stealer short sword, everybody. Plus 2 short sword, but if I crit with it, the individual has to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be slain instantly as the sword tears its life force from its body.
DC
You know what? At least it's
15?
fast combat.
Horrifying.
What?
Amazing.
Gave him that? Jordy gave him that?
Oh no, I don't like the fact that Jordy's
I was
smiling
supposed to
at
give that to Zacharias. Y'all gave him that. So, Les, as you run in, sword high in the air, dagger in your offhand, leaping, landing next to the creature. First attack, striking in heavy into the chest. Second, dagger, skidding off to the side. You're still kind of learning how to use your left hand properly for anything but a shield, but you still slice it across the ground. Third attack, slams into him again. You're starting to see him very badly injured, starting to look around, starting to see if there's potential for a way out, and in that moment, you catch him just not looking at you and take the blade for a fourth attack and slice it straight across the neck. A series of bloody pools start to form in the neck, look like they might be attempting to close, but as the blade just starts to hum in your hand, and you see that inside the center of the blade, those 9 compartments with the 3 shattered gems, one of them begins to twitch and then spin and bounce off of the walls inside that as the creature under your blade strike also starts to hum and shift in place, and then that shadow that was attempting to form gets pulled out through the neck, through the wound, straight into that confined space with that ruby, and the gem shatters into a million pieces as the soul is sucked from the body and the creature is slain instantly. Rolled a natural 3 on his con save.
Oh, holy shit!
Also, I rolled 15 damage, which, Jordy, I don't know for your crits if you do double the damage at the end or double the dice.
To roll the dice, double the dice total, add your extra modifiers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been 15 damage base.
Yeah, so 30 to 40. Still wouldn't have been enough
Not
to
that
drop
that
him.
matters, because he's dead.
It wouldn't have been enough to drop him. He still had 43 hit points, but with the 9 live sealer, you can go ahead and mark off one of your charges. You are down to 5.
Quick, someone get a band-aid. We can fix it still. It's okay.
I have my movements come out of the tree. Like, it's not raining anymore, right? It was kind of sunny.
Yeah, the day today is relatively sunny. It's more so just that it's kind of dark and gloomy as you're starting to make your way into the swamp.
I imagine Les Paul just emitting from the tree line like a Komodo dragon, just
and the 2 swords in your fists, and you're just knuckle walking all the way over there.
The soul just gets ripped out from this dude's body, whipped out. Oh fuck!
Lance, we talked about this.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't read the manual. I'm sorry. I didn't read the instructions. I should have.
You didn't read the instructions.
He just a cool soul. I don't know that James are going to pop and go fluey and his soul be ripped from his goddamn person.
It was in
I'm
the
gonna
name.
go see if the remaining Imperial soldier is doing okay.
All right.
Yes,
I'm gonna search
sir.
this motherfucker though.
So
I'm gonna search this dead homie real quick.
I'm walking.
Yeah.
I'm walking up to the dead homie as Moose put it.
Wait, can't jewels talk to the dead?
if the creature's soul remains in its body.
No, you fucking destroyed that thing, man.
You
He's
said
not
to-
coming back to
You just
Finally,
straight
I
up
can-
said Control Z to this guy.
I can finally just do the best Mortal Kombat one-liner. Your soul, I.
Wait, what was it, Kevin? Your soul is forfeit.
Right from our other
From
game.
your other game, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Oh, my stupid camera. No. Focus on me, you bastard.
you
There we
bastard.
go. Good enough. Okay,
I
so
love the image as well of the second this guy falls, every other member of the party just like leaps onto this dude like the loot goblins they are. Like, dogpile him.
alrighty. So as you guys start to make your way forward, who was it who said, Phelan, was it you who wanted to talk to the guard?
No, me.
Oh, it was Galahad.
No,
Okay,
that was
so,
Galahad.
we'll do
That's
Galahad
Matt.
first as the rest of you start to slowly kind of make your way out. Less you seeing that soul get ripped from the body, the shadow pulled out through the cut neck and into the sword, instantly lifeless. And you see the darkened skin get almost ashy on the ground and start to go gray as the individual is definitively dead. The rest of you start to slowly make your way out towards them, still hands raised, blades at the ready, just in case. But Galahad, you seeing this, you know what has transpired. You make your way over towards the one standing guard with a couple of nicks and cuts on his arms, and he's just kind of holding a shield and a sword at his side and just...
You all right?
And you can see him like just kind of looking at his arms and just paying attention to the couple of cuts that are there, and then just still clearly in shock, now looking at the 5 dead bodies of his guard compatriots on the ground. Doesn't really seem to be able to form words at the moment.
I just put my weapons away and like offer a hand out to him.
And he's like got the sword, and he just kind of looks down at the body and like opens his hand a little bit, and then the sword just tang falls onto the ground, and he drops the shield and just kind of...
Now RKO out of nowhere him.
Oh my god! He's broken in half!
And his name was
Galahad 5 with a
Cena!
steel shed!
But you kind of reaching out your hand, and he just kind of reaches one out and like grabs onto your hand and just kind of holds it there and just kind of and like bends over and kind of puts his head down onto his hands, and then just you can hear the breathing starting to slow a little bit. Bit at a
As
time.
he makes contact, I look at all the cuts and damage he's already sustained, and I just lay on hands and try and just salve some of the wounds he's sustained. I'll give him 5 just to help him out.
So with that, you kind of just laying into his hands and him just kind of putting his head down. You feel the warmth spread down through your arm into your hand and then into his body, and you see all those cuts start to close up. He was missing 4 hit points. So he does seem to be back to full health.
Give that one back!
You don't need it. Get it.
Anyway.
That's a good wisdom.
That is a good wisdom. So, with you using your lay on hands ability to heal all of his wounds, get him kind of back up into tip-top shape, he just kind of looks up and you can hear the breathing is starting to slow, the heart rate's starting to go down. He's starting to be able to... Thank you, soldier. I appreciate your support in this.
Can you tell me what happened? Who was that guy?
He's one of the Kryn soldiers, the ones who've made their way over the mountains. He just kept shouting, I know it's here, I know it's here, you've taken it. I don't know what he's talking about. We're simply just trying to transport goods out of Belben. Oh God, my friends. And you can see him at this point releasing your hand and kind of falls to his knees a little bit and just kind of reaches out towards some of his allies and like pulls them a little bit closer and starts to check and see and start to make his way through the bodies and realize that everybody has passed.
I'm sorry about your friends. We got here as fast as we could.
Well, I don't really know what you were doing here, I'll be honest. It's, well, I mean, people such as yourselves don't really tend to travel these roads all that often.
We're making our way up to Rexentrum through Zadash.
Through Zadash. Well, you came at a good time. Hey, thanks Arcane Anthems for the raid. What up, Wes? Good to see you guys. But you're making your way into the swamp. There has to be something that I can give you. Hold on. And you see him start to make his way back around to the back of the cart. And it's a fairly sizable wagon. You're looking like 15 feet across, maybe 20, 25 feet long. The horses look like they've run off at this point. But he at least has access to the wagon. Les?
When he was talking about transporting goods and everything, was there anything shifty about that answer?
Go ahead and roll an insight check for me.
Hiya!
If there is, you about to shift his soul to the next dimension.
Everyone better be super fucking afraid of me right now. That's damn skippy. Fuck, these rolls are great. 18, that's a 22, Jordy.
22? He looks legitimately scared about the situation that he's in. That's about all you can get out of him.
We better check his pants. He needs new ones.
May I follow him? Sorry.
Around. Well, you guys said that you were investigating the Kryn, so we'll come to that as Galahad is having this conversation. So he starts to make his way back around to the back. While he makes his way around, you guys who are investigating the body, who actually wants to do that? 2 people.
I'm already there.
Okay. All right, so Les, you were already there.
I'm also there.
Dale, and you were already there.
I was there.
All right, so we'll get you guys to roll investigation checks for me as Margot and Jules start to make their way over.
Well, hell no.
Can I follow him to the cart in order to kind of glance and lightly inspect the cart to see what's in it?
Sure. Dale and Les, what were your investigations?
That's a 21.
21.
12.
12. Les, he's got nice swords. He's got nice swords.
I'll still stealing swords.
Not as nice as yours, and you're just like kind of picking up his and feeling the weight of the 2 of them, and you kind of toss it onto the ground.
Are you in there?
Phelan, they are actually quite nice blades. You notice that in comparison to most of the blades that you've seen being steel, these appear to be made of a darker metal. On a 21, you would know these as being adamantine blades.
Ooh. Holy shit.
2 adamantine rapiers. Those are adamantine, depending on how you pronounce it. Those blades are made of a metal that is very difficult to find. It is something that is a little bit more common among more elite Kryn warriors.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The garb that this person is in, you specifically recognize a little bit more as an individual that is associated with the Kryn military rather than a simple raider.
Okay.
The armor itself is quite good. It's a good quality studded leather armor. The insignias upon it are definitely those of the Kryn main city, a city that's known as Rossona. But the individual himself, based on everything that you've had of interactions in the past and the quality of the weapons and the quality of the armor and the insignias, you would recognize this as most likely an individual that's a member of the Kryn military. Very strange to see a single Kryn soldier on their own.
Yeah.
And your eyes immediately start to look around in the surrounding areas.
Everything all right, Phelan?
Yes. Either this person was deep undercover and hard to on their own to get here fast, but odds are they're not alone.
Go ahead and
We
roll
need to
in
keep
a
an eye
perception
out.
check for me.
Oh shit.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
And what are everybody else's passive perceptions? So,
Hell yeah.
Phelan
That's
first.
19 plus 3 for 22.
22. Margot, what's your passive perception?
11.
Les?
14.
Jules?
12.
And Galahad?
10.
10. Okay. The 4
Actually,
of you...
that's a lie. It's a 17.
17. Okay.
I forgot that I took a beat.
Yeah, no worries.
Hell yeah.
The 4 of you don't really notice anything.
I don't like that fucking thing.
Phelan, you kind of immediately recognizing this and starting to look around a little bit of, shit, we might not be alone. And you start to look around and you see that off in the distance on the opposite side of the road, in the trees, you see a faint shimmer in the air. And then you just hear a faint popping sound.
Damn.
Try to look at it. You try to get a better view, and whatever might have been there is no longer there.
Damn. Okay, I'm gonna. Was it within 60 feet ish?
From where you
I'm
are?
hoping.
10,
Yes.
20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, it's about 55, 60 feet.
Okay, cool. That means I can throw my dagger at it at disadvantage, and I know you said it's not there, but I'm gonna still throw my dagger of iron at it anyways, just to like make sure that there isn't, and like to show the others where it was at as well.
Absolutely. So you immediately catching just the faintest glimpse of this glint, like something metal, right around where head height would be. Just kind of glints off the little bit of sunlight that's filtering in through the trees, and then that faint popping sound, and you just instantly grab the dagger and throw it disadvantage. Go and make a disadvantage attack.
Oh.
It's okay. He's got a straight shot.
Okay, so first one is a 24 with disadvantage. That makes it 21.
21, still
Damn.
really good. So you, with that accuracy at that range, just knowing exactly what you saw and that bit of adrenaline that just kind of surges into your heart and out to your limbs, you throw an arrow straight dagger 60 feet, and it impacts against the tree that was directly behind where that, whatever it was, disappeared from.
You hear, ah!
There was someone there, and I'll rush over to see if there's anything left there.
So you start to rush over to the other side. As you rush over, we'll jump to Jules. So you wanted to follow the guard around to the back of the caravan. He's a little bit of a ways ahead of you, is starting to make a way away from Galahad, but he kind of slides around to the back of the caravan and opens it up. And taking a look at the caravan, it is well fortified. There are iron bands running across each side, top to bottom, cross beams, cross bands, a series of shields in the empty spaces as well. Going around to the back of the caravan, looks to be about 15 feet wide or so, with a door set in the center, and again, a fully wrought iron door on heavy hinges with a series of padlocks, 3 of them. And this individual making his way around to the back of the caravan and just kind of looking at it goes, oh shit. And he starts to make his way back around towards Galahad and like goes over to one of the bodies on the ground.
What were you carrying that needed this much security?
To be honest, I don't really know. We were just told to be taking something from Zadash and be bringing it along the southern route and then up towards Huppaduke. We wanted to make sure that we took the shortest route to be able to get there.
Okay.
Actually, okay.
Is there like a way up to get to the, like, is the top of the caravan like sturdy?
Everything you can see looks pretty sturdy. It looks, essentially, think of it like a giant box with a slightly slanted, an upside down boat on the top of the roof. So it's kind of slanted to allow the rain to slick off, but it is essentially a rectangular box.
Cool. Jules is gonna just like climb up onto the top of it in order to get a better like vantage point of what's going on in this area, because yeah,
little sus. All right, so go ahead and make just
go ahead
and make an athletics check for me just to get up to the
an
top.
athletics check. That's
You want me to give you a boost?
That's a 2. I got a 2.
Okay, so you like trying to find your way to handhold everything, not really able to do much, and then Galahad just kind of comes over and like, 2 hands the side of your waist and just lifts you up very easily, and just places you up near the top where you're kind of able to clamber on. Not quite able to do it yourself,
Jules just quietly and embarrassed is like, thank you.
But from that, you
just
see
a thumbs up. Nothing said.
Margot, Jules, Galahad, you 3 all see that this guy having come around from the side with Phelan starting to make his way across the road. You see him start to kind of fumble through one of the dead guard's pockets, and you see that this guard specifically is wearing a little bit of a larger insignia in comparison to all of them just having the Crown's Guard insignias and symbols that are on their armor and on their cloaks and everything. This one seems to have an extra piece, like a slightly longer cloak and a more ceremonial style weapon. You would imagine it's probably the head guard that was watching this, and he did seem to be the one that was closest to the Kryn and fell first in comparison. Everybody else seemed to be the ones that fell after the fact. But this individual making his way over towards that kind of head guard pulls out a large ring of heavy keys. And Jules, you had seen on the back of the caravan that there were 3 locks. This ring has got about 15 keys on it.
I just wanted to jump in. The surviving guard mentioned the shipment is on its way to Hupperduke, correct?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. When he says that, I'll fumble in my jacket.
You said this shipment was on its way to Hupperduke. You don't have any idea what kind of cargo it is?
Pull out the Hupperduke Crown's Guard badge that we all have, and say,
We're Deputy Crown's Guard of the Hupperduke Division. We can help. But you have to tell us what the hell's going on.
I'm gonna pull mine out as well, just to support his claim.
Okay. Go just make a persuasion check.
True.
Yeah, persuasion check at advantage.
Yeah.
It's just me and him, secret gods.
Fucking.
I hate you.
Ooh, cool. I actually am proficient. Nice. Double ones. No. 24.
24. Okay. And you see him, like, his demeanor doesn't really change. He seems to be somebody that, as best you can tell, legitimately doesn't really know what he's in for. He's a guard that was transporting something. But you do see that, like, nothing softens in his demeanor, but he more so just kind of adopts the, oh, you're Crown's Guard. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can take this caravan all by myself to Hupperduke. Is there a way? I see you've got, obviously you're coming in this direction, but you don't seem to have a caravan of your own. Is there any chance that you could assist me in escorting this on its way?
Damn it.
Our wagon is back down the hill.
Out of character, because I don't remember, is Hupperduke on the way, out of the way, opposite direction?
So it's
sideways?
opposite. So essentially, you guys were in Felderwin. You went west to get to. So you can think of it like a big rectangle. You guys took a route south from Hupperduke to get to Felderwin. You essentially went due south. This way, you decided we don't want to go back to Hupperduke. We want to go the other direction. So you've gone a week in the other direction, where you'd have to backtrack for a week to Felderwin and then go further up.
Okay, so like basically we're here. We originally came from here,
Correct.
so it would be basically all. But Rexentrum would be here, right?
Rexentrum is top center.
Top center.
Yeah.
In theory, we could escort this caravan through to at least Rexentrum, and then maybe procure some local Crown's Guard to assist, because
I don't think they want to go to Rexentrum because they would have to go back through Zadash to get to Rexentrum, which is where they just came from.
Correct.
Oh,
so
okay.
Zadash to where you guys are right now is about 5 days. Where you guys are now back to Felderwin is a week, and then Felderwin up to Hupperduke is, I think, about 12 days or so.
Oh my
So
god.
it would essentially be them backtracking 5 days to pick up more Crown's Guard and then try the trip again. Or you guys backtracking a full week back to Felderwin and then taking the other route. But he's kind of telling you this, he is fumbling with those keys and he's starting to unlock the 3 locks that are on the back of the caravan.
Yep. I would like to get a look at what exactly is being transported before I decide if we should, well, not me decide, but put to the group that we should do about this.
Absolutely. So for you guys that are kind of making your way around to take a look in the back of the caravan, Margot, did you want to do that as well? Or do you want to just keep looking at the body?
I actually just want to open the eyelids of the body and like look to see.
What the fuck?
So like, you know, like when they say when a person dies, like their eyes glaze over and stuff like that. I want to see the difference depending on like what the death in particular did to the body.
Margot, more like morbid. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Only the best kind of morbid. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Ooh. That can only end horribly for me.
Is fire a medicine?
Well, I
Ash.
wasn't expecting that. That's a nat 20.
Hey,
Yeah.
what is up with the 20s tonight, guys? That's like the 7th one.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
Great
plus-
job, guys.
That I was expecting this to end horribly. I'm not a medical professional.
All right, but
Yeah.
what's the
And
bonus?
yet-
Slash neg-
That's just a +1.
21.
You
Okay.
just passed all of your exams. You're a doctor now. It's fine.
Damn, nice.
So, Margot,
MD.
you've seen dead bodies before. It's not a new thing to you. Normally there is a kind of dark stillness that comes across the eyes, and the eyes just kind of widen out a little bit, and the body just kind of relaxes and falls into death. That's the best way to put it. With this, it looks as though death was ripped from it, and the eyes have not relaxed. They're still contracted. They're still very small pupils, as if suddenly there was life and then instantly there wasn't, and the body didn't even realize that it was dead.
Spooky.
This is a very different kind of death from what you've seen.
Oh,
You would imagine as well, based on what you saw, of the shadow being pulled out from within the throat and being absorbed into that blade, that may have something to do with it.
Well, it appears as if he's dead. I've solved the case.
That'll be 500 gold.
Deal.
Just like our American medical professionals, I've done my job. Give me your money.
Mm-hmm.
I waited in the emergency room for 8 hours and got a bill for $10,000.
I told you you were dead.
Yeah.
You will be built shortly.
You will be built shortly. All right, so that was you. So Jules and Galahad, you two around the back of the caravan. Les, did you want to take a look as well, or are you still looking at the body?
They've pretty much plucked everything they can from this body, yeah?
Best you can tell. The thing that you really noticed is you noticed Phelan chuck a dagger across the road and start to make his way over there very quickly.
All right. Has anyone checked the individuals on the ground yet?
The guards? No.
I will do that. If Galahad and this guard are noticeably like going to the back of the cart, I'll just go to them and kind of like rifle through pockets.
Okay, so we'll do Galahad and Jules. You two, as you see him kind of fumbling with the keys, trying to find the right ones, legitimately doesn't really look like he knows which key goes into which lock, but eventually, a minute or two passes by and he starts to open them up, and the heavy door just creaks outward. I need both of you guys to make dexterity saving throws for me.
Just get conked in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Dexterity?
Dexterity saving throws, yeah. As the door opens.
Shit.
I'm going to add +2 from my shield master feat.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll my freaking...
I also gave you your inspiration.
Yeah, that's what Jules rolled. So, Jules, what was your total?
12.
12. Galahad?
21.
21. Okay. Both of you. 21 is a failure.
What?
Yep.
I forgot to put the pin number before unlocking the lock.
Can I add my inspiration die?
If you,
it's a bit late after the fact.
That's fine.
Do it
That's
before.
fine.
Yeah,
Here's the result.
You'd have to have done it before.
Fine by me. Bless is long since over as well.
A 21 didn't pass?
21
Nope.
did not succeed. No, sorry. Give me one sec. I had this written down, and for some reason it's not
That's
in my
okay.
notes.
Everything's fine.
This will be quick.
It's okay. You can just retype insta-death onto your notes. It's fine. It's not.
Also, my temp HP is expired as well, so I'll mark that off. It's definitely been more than a minute by now. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
And a tiger with backwards hands pops out.
God.
Goddamn tigers! Yeehaw!
Oh my god.
Damn.
Motorcycles are in this.
Motorcycle! It's a getaway! We gotta chase him down!
No, where is it? Okay, here we go. Okay, so you take...
It's Daniel Craig! They were transporting Daniel Craig.
Okay, here we go. So, you guys both failed on the dex save.
Ooh, that's a lot of dice.
Oh, it's not all of them either.
It's a lot of damage.
20,
That's a lot of
30,
diamond.
42, 43.
Those are big numbers.
Fuck, y'all about to get ripped to shreds.
You're about to make these characters middle-aged.
You
Goddamn.
both take 60 points of fire damage.
What the fuck?
The caravan from the inside out, and the guard nearby as well. Less you and Phelan were more than 15 feet away, so you don't take the damage from this. As
Yeah,
the
I would have been
caravan,
like over here.
you just hear a as the caravan explodes in 15 feet in all directions, dealing 60 points of fire damage to any creatures within 15 feet. 10
Oh my-
I'm so glad I'm
fire
standing
damage.
on top of
Wait.
That guard is dead.
I have protective shield uses
If you want to.
for one person. It'll like -8 damage. It's really like nothing. It might as well just not do it.
60 points?
60
I'm
points.
unconscious. I'm
I'm
not
fine.
unconscious immediately.
Will 8 points of minusing that help at all?
Nope.
No, I didn't think so. I don't think it's gonna be worth it.
9 points would, but
Oh wait, it's 8 plus
Alright.
3.
So close.
It's 11 points.
that's 60 damage. I have 51 hit points.
How far away can you be from the person?
I have to be within 30 feet.
Okay, you would be able to do it to Jules. You would not be able to do it to Galahad because he's behind the
All right,
caravan.
I'm gonna try D8 roll. It's a D8 plus 3.
Okay.
Oh.
Damn, fingers crossed.
As soon as that, like that kind of happens, like, whoa, just instant, like an instantaneous,
This
like.
is why
shit,
I asked
like,
if you went across the road.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm so glad I went the opposite way. All right, here we go, and. Ah!
Maximum.
So, Jules, you reduce the 60 damage down to 49,
Tight.
taking out...
I've got 2 hit points.
Alright.
I've got 8 hit points.
Good.
Hold on, am I still awake?
Wait, you have 68 hit points? How do you have...
I have 68 maximum health.
Am I the only one that didn't get hit in
How?
that entire thing?
Nah,
I
same.
have
homie.
really high con, and I rolled really well when I level
Oh,
up.
shit. Okay, fair enough. So,
Don't you remember when I hit level 5? You were like, "Oh man, 1 hit point off," because I'm 68. Maybe that was Kevin. It's fine. It's
I think that might have been Kevin, because I still had you at 54. I'll have to update
No, my
your colleagues.
max HP is 49.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I have to update, because I asked you guys earlier, I'm like, are all these stats correct? And you guys
No,
like, yeah.
no. I was looking at my sheet. I was like, "Oh, that's wrong.
That's
Everything else is fine." No, I have
Wait,
68.
at
hit
level
points.
5, you have 68 hit
How am I?
points? Jesus.
Why am I still at 33?
Because rogues, man. Because rogues. I mean, this is the thing, is Margot, you're at 30,
Yeah.
38, 39. But anyway,
Can I
the-
ask what the
doesn't
DC
matter.
I'm
was?
at 37.
yeah, the DC was 22.
Oh
The
my
fuck?
god!
Yeah, you almost
If I
succeeded.
used my inspiration,
Mhm.
I would have taken no damage at all.
Correct. But instead, you took 60 points of fire damage. As the caravan from the inside out, there seemed to be some kind of a triggering rune on the center of the caravan that when that door was opened, the entire caravan shattered outwards, 15 feet in every direction, destroying itself, all of the contents inside it, and incinerating 3 of the guards' bodies, the one who was opening the back door and the other 2 that were there. The Kryn's body, Margot, you drastically take a step back as a lot of this explosion impacts against that body and begins to incinerate it. And there seems to just be a crater left in the ground and a pair of smoking boots of where that guard that opened the door once stood.
Damn, he got Bugs Bunny down there.
Our boy!
Well, we don't have to escort the wagon anymore.
I was gonna say we're out of a backtracking trip now.
Shit.
Yeah,
Galahad.
but we
Uh,
still have to
and then,
tell them.
now, sorry,
Explosion.
and then about a good 10 seconds later, your ears all still ringing, Phelan, you on the other side of the road, well away from this, you just hear a heavy thump impact against the ground.
Yo, I'm gonna go find where the fuck that hit.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay, fingers crossed. All right,
But
perception.
just on
I
the
got-
map, where are people? Because I want to make
Yeah.
sure I know where everybody.
So we'll move everybody to where they are. So Galahad's behind right there. Les, you were there.
Where did I end up?
You
Where
were.
did Jules get rocketed to?
Oh, why are you?
Wasn't Jules
The
on top of the
ether, that's
wagon
weird.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Jules
on top of the wagon.
Hang on.
You went.
Oh my god, the protective
uppity.
bubble thing, like you're about to get like huge, like shining protective psychic energy bubble.
Y'all ever play Super Monkey Ball Adventures? This is about to be Super Jules Adventures. It's fine.
Oh yeah, or it gets like blasted off the top of the wagon, like.
We're coming to that. So
I'm
Phelan,
just like standing, like trying to catch Jules as she's coming down.
how high, or sorry, how was your perception check?
That's a 16 plus 3 for a 19.
19. Okay. You heard a heavy thud about 20 feet north of where you currently are, maybe 25, 30 feet north of where you are on the other side of the road, and just inside the tree line. Give or take right about, if you're looking at the map, give or take right about there.
Okay, I am going to assume...
Just after that, you hear a second thud, a much lighter one, as Jules, being shot up into the air, you take an additional 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
And you're knocked out.
Oh, this homie absolutely fucking
wrecked. Sorry. You weren't 60 feet in the air. Sorry, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you were shot into the air 30 feet off the ground, trying to do anything, unless you have a reaction to slow that in some way. Do you have...
I got nothing.
Feather fall
I
or
got
anything?
nothing.
All right. So you just kind of like feeling yourself start to fall into unconsciousness, and then all of a sudden this bubble forming around you, kind of containing at least some of the fire, less kind of holding it in the air, staying as best you can, and then the bubble just gets shot up into the air, and all of a sudden you're 30 feet off the ground, cartwheeling, and you land and crumple onto the ground, unconscious.
I think Jules just curls up into a ball as this happens.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
As the fire and smoke starts to clear, Galahad just like crawling out, just completely scorched.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just like crawls over to Jules and like tags the lay on hands.
Just
like
bitch slaps the lay on hands. As a fire creating creature, can I try and figure out what on earth caused this?
Make an Arcana check.
Fire. It was fire.
What the fuck was that?
That is a 18.
18. Simply put, bomb. Something that was triggered by that door opening, by the doors being unlocked. You're not entirely sure what it is on an 18, but you would imagine that there was most likely some kind of a glyph of warding that was in place to prevent that door being unlocked and opened by somebody that did not have the permission to access the contents.
So the freaking... Our boy didn't actually know what he was fucking doing.
No. But
right.
As best you can tell, he probably... I mean, none of you were suspicious of him in any way. It's not like he was being cagey about anything. He was very much just thankful that he was the one that was left alive. And he tried to open something to give you guys a reward and unknowingly triggered a bomb.
Of the bodies that got scorched, the captain of the guard, was that body one of them?
The captain of the guard is the one that Les is at. He was 20 feet away. He was not scorched.
Okay.
Wait, was I looking for his pockets before the bomb went off, or was I about to when?
You were about to. You were like kind of, in his pockets trying to reach for stuff, and then all of a sudden this just blast of heat kind of knocked you sideways. You didn't take any damage, but yeah. So I'm gonna clear off. I'm gonna get rid of the bodies that are not there anymore.
And then you said he had like a fancy insignia like on his coat, right?
And Jules, you are here, and Galahad had gone over. Yeah.
Jesus.
So, yeah, he did have a bit of a fancier insignia. He had a bit of a nicer cloak and a specifically kind of a more ceremonial weapon, which had a nicer filigree inlay on the pommel.
So his insignia is similar to our badge, but just a little bit more fancy.
Yeah, pretty similar to that, but with a couple of extra striations and lines through it. Also, thank you C4 Labs for the sub, Kev. Give a shout out.
Hey!
Yeah, show him your new dice tray.
I've been using it all goddamn session as just like play testing, and it is goddamn beautiful.
It's been giving us the good rolls too.
Yeah, you've gotten like 5 natural 20s.
It's literally stole the life out of somebody.
It did.
Damn Skippy, it's been amazing.
For
I got a video
vegan product. It
more of
stole
a
the life.
For a sneak preview, we got a special video coming out soon to reveal all the fancy things of this thing soon. But yeah.
Thank you for the sub, C4. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, so the insignia on that does look a little bit different. So Margot, are you making your way over to the body with Les?
Yeah, I don't know. I almost want to take the insignia off of his coat. I want to take it. I don't know exactly what it could be used for, but part of me thinks, this might be a higher clearance. This might come in handy at some point.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to you in less. So Galahad, Jules, you guys have kind of coughing your lungs out, but still conscious. Galahad, how many hit points did you give to Jules? 5. All right. So Jules, you're back up at 5, now conscious, but still prone, badly burned. Your ears are ringing, both of you. You are both considered deafened for the time being. So you can't hear anything of what's going on around you because of the size of the blast and your proximity to it. Just so you're
Ow,
aware.
your
Yeah. I think that Jules is still curled up in her ball and is just like, just grabs Galahad's hand and like holds onto it and is just like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
I tried, Jules, I tried!
Thank God so far. Anyway,
Can't hear you.
Phelan, so we're going to jump over to you because you have gone across to the other side of the road. You heard that heavy thud of something landing nearby, and you start to make your way a little bit further up along the side.
I am going to assume that this is an enemy, and I'm going to try and stealth my way there as fast as I can, just to like keep an eye out and see what the hell fell over there.
Okay. So you had been kind of like looking through the tree line. You had seen the dagger that you had thrown embedded into the tree. We're kind of going to backtrack a little bit to just before the explosion happened because you were looking around a little and that kind of just took the priority. Go ahead and make just an investigation check or survival check for me. Your choice.
Absolutely. I will do an investigation check. Okay. I get +6 on those. That's a 16 + 6, a 22. Homie.
Okay. So you see, taking a look at the ground, the trees here are in kind of marshy swampland. It's not something that's easy to hide your tracks. There are footprints in the marshland. Okay. The footprints are a little bit more narrow than a traditional humanoid individual. Okay. They don't look very heavy. Probably somebody under 200 pounds. Very lithe individual. And they seem to have appeared from within the marshland further into the trees, made their way across. And then you're realizing that you're seeing 2 sets of footprints, and one of them steps forward out of the trees towards where the road was. So you would imagine that this individual that made his way across the road that waylaid the caravan was probably one of a pair. But the other one didn't seem to engage, as best you can tell. The person who was speaking said, the Kryn, they're here, and it was one person that they were fighting. And this other individual seems to have vanished, but you don't see footprints walking away. Instead, you've seen footprints almost turn in place, as if the individual just vanished in midair.
Okay, so they probably magicked their way out of there, teleported, or some other form. Okay, cool. I will leave that in the back burner. Maybe we can follow those steps later and see where they came from. Maybe they have like a camp or something, but that'll be after we've settled from the explosion.
Right, so now, explosion happens. Oh my god, what the hell? Thump, what is that? And you make your way over and you find the... taking a look around, it's not hard. You heard the impact, you rolled high enough to hear kind of where it landed. You are able to track it and see that it kind of got stuck in the slop, and a little bit of it is visible, but it does look to be an iron chest, or maybe a lead chest of some kind. Not as big as you would expect, but probably... I don't know, 3 feet long, 2 feet wide, maybe about another 2 feet high. Just a little bit of a rectangular prism. And you can see that there is a very heavy inlaid area where a lock would be, but instead is a series of arcane glyphs.
Ooh, shit.
It does not look like it appears to be something that is a traditional lock. Hence why it probably wasn't destroyed by the explosion.
Okay. So we have a magical box, or a box at least that's magically locked. Okay. I'm going to take that box and keep it with me. I will identify it later for now, but like hearing the explosion, I'll take that chest with me and head back to the group and see what happened.
So you guys see Phelan walking over. Galahad, Jules, you guys are pretty close to where Phelan picked up this chest from within the muck and started walking out a little bit. You see it, but you don't hear anything. You've still just got that ringing sound. It's starting to lessen a little bit. You are deafened for 10 minutes. So you're probably about halfway through that deafening period at this point, as your hearing is starting to come back a little bit, but you're definitely yelling to each other a little and are you okay? Like not really able to regulate your voice.
God. Yeah.
Everything hurts.
Everything is awesome. Everything hurts when you're part of this team.
Are you singing? I can't hear anything.
I can't feel anything but pain.
Oh, it's what happened?
Relent just slaps the hand. Get it together.
Game over,
No.
man. Game over.
I'm fucking coming back in unharmed with a chest in my hands. What happened?
Literally that scene from Community with the pizza.
Yes.
Somebody with better Photoshop skills than me, please make that a thing.
Just Phelan walking back in with a chest. And then there's just a troll doll.
Oh,
Phelan,
God.
it exploded. It exploded. It fucking exploded.
Oh God. Oh God. Anybody need healing? Anybody? Is there
Please.
anything?
Please.
They got fucked up more. Go over there. Jules is literally standing on top of the goddamn thing.
I'll go up to Jules and I'll put my hand on her shoulder and say, "You got this," and cast Cure Wounds. As a shimmer of metal, just metallic magic leaves my hand and goes into her body.
Thank you.
That will be.
And this is Phelan's
not
awesome new feat.
Yeah! Gift of the Metallic Dragon. Let's get it.
Is bad.
I didn't roll too well for the healing. You only get 5 points. So that's a 2 plus 3.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Now you have 10 hit points.
Yeah.
You have
Better
double.
than me.
Oh God. I think this might have came out from the explosion. I think this is the only thing that survived. Well, you two barely did, but yes.
Can we leave? Can we leave this place, please? I don't want to
Yes.
stick around here.
And
There was another person. They got away. There is a high chance that they are still around, so we should leave and be careful.
Let's leave.
What?
so Phelan, as you're
Let's
hearing
leave.
Jules, as you're hearing Jules say this, like clearly in a lot of pain, you're starting to look around, and the top of the road where you guys came from, you still don't notice anybody. That explosion seems to have kept people at bay for the time being. And looking further in, you see that the path kind of splits off to the left, and you see a couple of people looking out from the side of the path. But again, that explosion is keeping them at bay. They're at least a good 300, 400, 500 feet away from you at this point.
Hold on.
Okay.
Can I run back and go check on Gilda?
Well, before we do that, we're going to get to you and Les looking over the body. So, Les, you were there first, so go ahead and roll an investigation check for me on the body.
Okie dokie. 16.
16, okay. So, the insignia that the individual has mostly matches yours. The difference is that the background of your symbol is one that is unique to Hupperduke. You would imagine it's probably the crest of Hupperduke, but the insignia itself is very similar in size, very similar in shape. It's just a slightly different one. With this one, you spent a little bit of time. You would recognize that this specifically on this individual is an insignia of the Crown's Guard in Rexentrum, not from Zadash.
Right.
The rest of the Crown's Guard seem to have theirs from Zadash. So this individual, that's the reason why theirs looks a little bit different, is they're actually originally from Rexentrum. Taking a better look around, kind of getting an idea of the other accoutrement that the individual has, that longer cape and cloak. There's no real insignia on that, but it's kind of just a thing where people who are higher ranking tend to wear extra layers like that. They'll wear vests, they'll wear cloaks, so that kind of matches a little bit. What is interesting is that looking at the weapons, which for you, obviously with the background that you have, weapons often tell a lot about the wielder. And in this case, looking at the pommel, you see that there is the same insignia as what he was wearing on the cloak with the badge. No background on this one. It is just an insignia of Crown's Guard. But kind of woven into that is an insignia for, and I'm trying to remember the freaking name of it, the Cerberus Assembly.
Shit.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
So Margot, you notice you don't really have a ton of background in what the insignias stand for. You haven't really been to most of the main cities outside of the time that you spent in Hupperduke. So you notice that yours has an insignia of Hupperduke. You notice that these ones are a little bit different. Maybe they're from different places. You don't really know where. But you can do the same thing. Roll an investigation check for me as well.
16.
16. You haven't had a ton of experience looking at Cerberus Assembly gear, at Cerberus Assembly insignias. The thing on the bottom of the pommel to you doesn't really look any different from a traditional one.
Yeah.
But less you notice the difference. So what do you
Yeah,
want to do?
I'll mention that just to be like, these are Cerberus Assembly weapons. It's a bit odd. Why do Crown's guards have Cerberus Assembly weapons?
And specifically, it is just the Crown's Guard leader. The rest of them just have a traditional Crown's Guard symbol on the bottom of them. There's only slight differences, but you notice that it is just very, very minute in that one blade that he's carrying.
I think there's multiple departments that are interested in this thing. Can I go over to the explosion site as Margot is feverishly still digging in the ground for guards, items, and things?
Absolutely.
I'm just curious to seeing that Cerberus Assembly insignia.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure that's just like a scorched sort of mini crater in there. In the dirt, I want to kind of like writhe my hand around to overturn the ash and see if just like in the dirt there's any kind of like residue or glint or anything that makes it look magical or off.
Okay, go ahead and make investigation or survival. Your choice.
Which is better? Investigation is
Yeah, you got this. Investigate
fucking
anything.
18. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
that's gray, man.
Love it. So that's plus 3, so 21.
21. Okay. Taking a look around, there is a lot of rubble, right? Just because an explosion went off doesn't mean the thing got vaporized. There is definitely a large amount of broken wood, bent and scorched metal pieces. Overturning the earth in the crater, there's not really a ton. You're kind of going and digging deeper and deeper into it. And then you kind of get right down into the center of the crater, and you see a large black scorch mark in the center of the crater. And you're kind of looking through it a little bit, and you go to start to overturn it, and then you realize, hang on, and you kind of take a bit of a step back, and the black scorch mark is in and of itself a magical rune. As if the explosion imprinted that rune onto the ground when it exploded and compacted the earth underneath it. Think Thor when he lands and the symbol appears from the Rainbow Bridge. That level of an explosion, leveling the ground and compacting it down to have that be what appears. This is not something that is your everyday bomb. Do
I recognize the rune?
As somebody who doesn't really have a ton of background in magic, you can make an intelligence check or an arcana check for me.
Well, not necessarily like what kind of magic it is, but like the signature of it. Does it seem Cerberus Assembly?
Yeah, make an arcana check.
Empire, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know what kind of gun it is, but like, who made it? Walmart or Shoppers Drug Mart? Natural 20!
Oh, and you're even changing dice too.
This tray is amazing!
For everybody who tries to tell you that your dice are what decides your numbers, fuck that. This tray proves that numbers.
When you've got a quality tray, everybody.
Okay, arcana check.
Are extremely better. Wow.
This stream is sponsored by C4 Labs.
Okay, so what was your arcana check total?
Yeah, not big on the arcane. It's a plus 3. Never mind, I lied. 23.
23. Okay. Looking at it, runes themselves inherently are not tied to specific organizations. It's not like you'd be able to tell a rune from one assembly from another. They're all the same thing because they all have the same purpose. What you would be able to tell, at least with the limited experience that you've had in a past life,
With
in a past life.
I was going to say I spent that time with Martin Lieutenant Dineth.
Yeah, exactly. You would know that this rune is associated as effectively a... How best to describe this? An evocation rune. So a rune that is triggered to deal as much damage as possible using some elemental type spell, in this case fire. The rune itself, having shrapnel pieces of metal, seems to have been contained within something that would shatter easily and cause an explosion in comparison to just fire. So potentially gunpowder or some kind of other material that you're not too familiar with. But whatever it is, it was designed to be a bomb triggered by magical means.
So wait.
Okay. That's...
Someone was triggering this from the outside? Is that what you're kind of pointing at?
No, that it was triggered. You don't know how, but the only thing that happened before it was triggered was the door was opened.
Honestly,
Right.
yeah.
Maybe it's like the world's most deadly water bucket prank. The second the door opens, the water bucket falls, except it's a bomb.
From Emperor Kevin McAllister, the most evilest of all.
Boom, boom. It's
Whoever was hiding, whatever was inside, definitely did not want anyone else looking in this by pain of fucking death. Jesus Christ.
Jordy, you said people were starting to like.
They were starting to poke their heads around.
far
The
away.
explosion happened, and they all kind of took shelter. But then looking back after the explosion, they see you guys now starting to do that. And you see that they're closing in a little bit. They're still probably... So the ones at the top of the hill, from where you guys are now, about 180, 200 feet. The ones around the bend a little bit further, they're probably around 300, 400 feet away. Because it's more of a flat bend up ahead. Whereas the hill, they kind of have to crest the hill to be able to look down.
I'm then going to hide the box that I have, just so nobody can see it. Like none of the passerbys or anything can trace that back to us or anything. Just like make sure it's out of sight, out of mind. Put it in like my backpack or something, so people can't see it.
It's 3 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. Like you could probably take a couple of things out of your bag and shove it in there. Remind me, do you guys have a bag of holding? Does somebody have one of those?
I think Nebula has a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say that Nebula left you guys the bag of holding then, because that doesn't make sense. Why you
He left it with his game set.
Yeah, he left it with the armor on the bed.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah,
cool.
so you guys have a bag of holding as well.
Yeah, we'll figure out then who has the bag of holding later, I guess. I'll take it for right now and like
take it
just
for
put
now
it
and
in
just kind of take a couple of things out of your bag, make sure you've got enough room, pad it with a couple of clothes, and then load it back up onto your back.
Yeah. But then we'll make sure to put it in the bag of holding and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, the rapiers from earlier, I never took them. The adamantine rapiers, but I'd like to see where they ended up with the blast and shit.
So they would have gotten thrown with where everybody was located. They would have gone skidding away from where Margot was and kind of just landed on the ground. One of them kind of sticking up the blade in the ground a little bit, and the other one a little bit of a ways further. But they're still intact. Adamantine is a very, very strong metal, and it wasn't close enough for it to completely destroy them.
Okay.
Could
cool.
probably use a sharpening.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take them, and we'll figure out what to do with them later as well.
Got 2 adamantine rapiers as well.
And
Kevin.
I'll head back and just see where we're headed to. I'll look at the others and see what they're up to.
Okay. So Galahad, you and Jules at this point, the ringing is starting to die down. You've got a little bit of a dull ache in your ears, but you guys are okay. You can start to hear normally again, and you're starting to kind of look around, and like your eyes are badly hurt. You've got full-on red eye. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get rid of, but it is something where you're at least okay.
I'm going to, at this point, I've just been lying flat after I gave Jules a healing. I'm just like, so I'm going to
It's like
slow
bending the armor plates back into place.
Yep. and I'm just going to like deep breath, and as I release, I'm gonna dump my lay on hands pool, which is like 20 now.
You've dumped 15. You dumped 10 into other people.
United
So you should have,
5 for the dude,
and then 5 for Jules. And you're
So
level
I
5,
should-
so you should only have 15
That's
left.
how that works. 25. Yep, 15.
Okay, so
You're right.
15 into yourself.
I'm bad at math.
all good.
I will just 15 hit points to just start to patch up some of the very scorched and now exposed like muscular metal of the arms that the jacket didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jules is remaining in a ball on the floor. She's good.
She's good.
She's just gonna stay there.
You want me to just? You want me to
He's
put
just
you on
gonna
the
stay-
wagon?
She's gonna stay.
Like
there.
a football.
She'll move when everybody else moves.
Okay.
She
So
You good?
doesn't have a high pain
Phelan's
tolerance.
starting to pack up this. You guys do notice that Phelan does put this, kind of taking a look at the road, less so about you guys, but at the road to make sure that nobody really notices that he's packing something away into his bag and making sure that he's got kind of picking up all of the rest of his stuff that's not in his bag anymore. Les, Margot, did you guys want to take anything from the remaining bodies?
Well, you said there wasn't really anything to take, right? There was just the weapon that had the insignia on it.
So there was
but
the
they were
weapon
just,
with the
like,
insignia. There was the cloak on the head guard and the insignia of the Rexentrum Crown's Guard. And then the 2 remaining Zadash Crown's Guard symbols.
I want to take the Rexentrum one.
Okay. So Les, you're kind of like looking at the dagger or the short sword, I should say, that the head guard has. Margot, you can reach down and you pick up that Rexentrum Crown's Guard symbol.
I don't
I'll probably
suppose
take-
the soldiers have the equivalent of like dog tags or anything, or is the badges the closest thing to it?
Badges are probably the closest thing to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was probably gonna swipe those just in case we gotta tell this story to have some receipts to be like, here's your badges, the weapon from the service assembly. I'll just like pocket that,
Okay.
put that away.
So leaving the cloak, leaving the armor, and all the rest of the weapons there. It's just
What kind of armor is it?
they're all wearing leather armor. The head Crown's Guard guy, he's wearing a breastplate.
Oh.
A what now?
A breastplate.
I could use an upgrade in armor. What do I have right now? I have studded leather. Everyone's favorite. I can handle breastplate unless anyone else wants it.
Or yours? If you want it,
Needed an upgrade anyway.
So just as a reminder, to take armor off of somebody takes about 10 minutes.
do you want help?
Please.
Okay. So you
I
guys
just sort of like
kind of lean over and
grandpa, like
hurriedly
still
like start to
smoking.
undo all the
I'm really bad with knots,
leather
alright? I'm
straps.
sorry.
You start to undo all the leather straps as you start to notice Phelan, especially, and Margot, because you're kind of backing away from the bodies at this point. People are starting to come around the corner. Caravans are starting to make their way a little bit closer, very cautiously, but are definitely starting to make their way a little bit closer to what's happening here. And you guys very hurriedly finish undoing the armor, emblazoned with the Crown's Guard symbol on the front of it. And it looks like it would probably fit Les. He's about your size. But you kind of leaving now just the unarmored body of a Crown's Guard in the middle of a road.
Okay.
I'm going to turn to the others again and say, we probably need to leave now. We look very guilty right now. We are the only ones alive, and there's a bunch of dead King's Guard that we are looting. People are going to make some assumptions if we don't leave.
We are not looting, we are taking evidence back to Rexentrum to inform the higher-ups of what happened here.
Yeah,
I would still like to leave anyways.
yeah. I'll go back and get our cot.
Okay. So you guys, Phelan, you start to make your way up the hill. Jules, you
I'll
follow.
go with
Gavin
you.
follows.
with
I'm-
Phelan.
I'm going back with Phelan,
Back
just
with
for
Phelan?
Gilda.
All right, so everybody's going back. Les, you as well.
Yeah, after I grab the breastplate, I
Okay.
will...
So you've got the breastplate. You're kind of hulking it under one arm and just hopping your way up the up to the top of the little hill there. You see that at this point, a couple of interested people have started to look over. You see a couple of halflings, a few humans and dwarves, the occasional half-elf or dragonborn. They're kind of peeking their way over the top. It looks like a bit of a crowd has started to gather after things went silent. And then they're now looking down at those, and you guys start to make your way up to the top of the hill and make your way towards them. You see a crowd of about maybe a dozen people or so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Shit. Fuck. I don't know what I need to. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the cart and like just get our stuff and get
so you're
going.
Just gonna push past them? They're all kind of in the middle of the road at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna put. Yeah. Sorry. Go for it.
Okay, I'll pull out my Crown's Guard badge.
Okay.
Just hold it up and say,
Crown's Guard business. Clear the road.
get them out of the...
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
$16.
16. Okay. You can see that there's a couple of people that are kind of like, narrowing their eyes at you a little bit. Big metal man telling them to clear the road that they've never seen before.
Big metal man currently steaming.
Yeah, currently steaming, holding up a Crown's Guards. And you see that kind of like placates them a little, and they're a little slow to shuffle off to the side. Some of the more, smaller individuals that you can see are definitely more meek. They're very quick to get out of the way, and like a couple of them kind of bow and salute to the fact that you're Crown's Guard. And you start to push your way through, and a couple of eyes seem to clock you. Seems like about 3 people in the crowd are kind of questioning what's going on, and they're like, "Are those guys really Crown's Guard? I don't really know what the situation is here. I mean, that's a couple of dead bodies, and there was a big explosion." But nobody seems to be accosting or stopping you. So you guys push your way back towards your cart, get everything loaded back up inside, and you see Gilda kind of underneath a bag that she's pulled up on top of herself, hearing the back of the cart open up. Just, "Hey guys, what happened?"
We'll tell you once for free.
Okay, I'm gonna stay hidden for now. She like pulls the bag over on top of herself again, and you guys saddle up. Do you guys want to continue on the road, the direction that you're going? Do you want to turn around? What's going on?
I think to Rexentrum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Check the highway.
Keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
See you. Let's go ahead and just make an animal handling check for me.
Galahad normally walks alongside the wagon, but just totally a charred mess is just going to sit on the back and just...
Yeah, sounds about right.
That's a 6.
6. Okay. It takes a little bit to really get them going, like setting your nerves. You've seen death, but like this was a whole other kind of thing with that explosion happening. And it took a little bit of time. You're there for a good couple of minutes trying to get them on. Does anybody want to try and help Les get the cart moving?
I can.
All right, Margot, go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Don't burn them. It's not going to help them go faster.
Oh no.
That's a 5. That's a no for me, dog.
Between the two of you, you guys were outside of that explosion, but you saw what could have been if you were just a little bit closer to it. And it's taken a minute, and you guys have to kind of steady yourself for a beat and just pull off to the side, take a little bit of a drink of water, start to try to push the horses forward, and eventually, a good 5 minutes of trying to get them moving, you do eventually get them on the road, and a couple of wagons that had pulled off to the side of the road, and you see that there's almost a pile up in the background as you guys start to push your way forward. A few people have made their way back to their caravans. They're loading up. They're waiting for you to start the movement of the convoy, and then you slowly start to pull back onto the road and leading the horses in. You get to be on your way again at a bit of a slower pace, but you've definitely lost close to an hour or so.
Ah, shit. Okay.
You start to make your way up to the top of the hill, cresting the top of the hill, pushing any of the last people that were standing in the middle of the road out of the way. Les?
I just want to clock the tree line one more time, since we've been hearing all kinds of creepy fucking popping sounds and daggers thrown at trees and such.
Go ahead and make a perception check as you crest the hill. You start to make your way down into the bottom valley again.
Oh man, my luck's now running out. Perception 7.
7. Okay. Same thing applies. You're focusing on the path here, where you would look into the side of the road where all of the trees are, try to get a bit of a gauge of what's going on, is right where the explosion has cratered part of the road. So the road has gone from something that's a very clean 2 to 3 carriage wide to something that's maybe 2, and with like a wheel hanging over the edge. So you're really trying to hold on to the horses. You can't get as quite a good of a look as you want, but at the same time, you got a big line behind you of people that are trying to go, and you start to just kind of, we got to get on our way, and you push forward. All right. Yeah. So,
okay.
As you guys are starting to push forward, this is going to be where we're going to take a quick little break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Was there something right before the break?
I was going to call up Phelan to have a little convo, so this is perfect then.
Yeah, so we'll do that right after we come back from the break. So this will be a quick one, 10 minutes or so at most. We're just going to quickly get ourselves a bit more coffee, a bit more water. We'll see you guys back here very soon. Hope you're liking it so far.
Oh,
it's super fun. And we're back. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us through the break. We appreciate it. We took a little bit longer, but some of us had to grab dinner. Unfortunately, we did go for quite a while before our break there, so we want to make sure we were able to get a bit of food. But jumping right back in, having dealt with a destroyed wagon, a Kryn soldier that seemed to have attacked a series of Crown's Guard, none of which remained standing, 3 of the bodies still present, pulled off to the side of the road and rifled through by a couple members of the party, out of the eyes of anybody who seemed to be on the road as best you could, with the exception of a set of armor. You guys are starting to push your way through, finding that narrow part of the road where only 2 caravans are barely able to squeak past each other, and then you guys are continuing on. Les, you said you wanted to ask Phelan something.
Yes. So as I'm kind of like, I guess I'm still driving the wagon. And we have like a little bit of a back window that can go to the main cart.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Phelan, can you come up here for a minute?
Yes, I can. I'll go up front and see.
Somersault through the window.
Absolutely. Woo!
The quietest, biggest bugbear that you've ever seen. So yeah, as you get to the front, just kind of quiet for a bit, and then I just like I'm sort of pondering as I'm trying to ask like the right question here to ask you.
Okay.
You seem to have quite a varied history with Kryn, yes?
Yes.
Do you have any clue what they would be after that the Empire is willing to do that much damage to keep it safe from prying hands?
I mean, I don't. It could be anything. To be fair, I don't have much information about Kryn itself, but I guess my biggest worry is this can be a weapon, it can be a secret, it could have just been documents in there. We are at war with them, so it could be anything that can change the tide of the war, or just, I guess, the rumor of something that could help either side could be it. I don't know of anything that could work in this scenario at this time, I don't think, at least. Maybe I guess our best option is going to be, if we want to figure out what it is just asking around once we get to Rexentrum, seeing if I have some contacts I can get in touch with to see what this might be. But
you have contacts in Rexentrum?
Yes, I've done some traveling here and there. I have some people in Lexington that I think I might be able to help with this, at least.
All right, that's good. Do you know how far into the city they are? What part?
I mean, merchants are usually where I hit my stride, so there are a few stores that I think that might be working. So I guess in the merchant areas of Rexentrum would probably where I would start. At least maybe they've heard of any information, people's comings and goings. It's usually a pretty good spot. But I mean, barring that, I would say maybe finding people with ties to the assembly, I guess, without necessarily going to the assembly itself. But at this point, I don't see any way of us being able to get anything out of this without giving it to I guess, to the assembly. I'm gonna try and see if I can unlock this, but odds are, again, I don't think we can unless we go to an experienced magician, and I am not that. Maybe Zadash can help there. Maybe we can find somebody powerful enough to be able to unlock this lock, but it would have to be very discreet. So we might have to go off book for this one. I guess we probably don't even have a book at this point.
We'll just keep your keen's eyes out. Chances are, if there's Kryn this far out from the border, there could be some in the city waiting.
That is the terrifying thing. But I guess it's Kryn are hard to disguise themselves unless they use magic. But that's the other thing. It is if we are in the city, I say we try to then, you're right, might want to stay public, I guess, so that way we are missed if we are disappeared, because that other Kryn probably saw us and probably knows who we are, and it won't be that hard to figure out where we went to. So if there's a slightest chance, that's why I want to see if there is. I guess it's probably better if we see if there's somebody in Zadash that we can just hand off this item to. If we can find an assembly member there, that will keep us safer. If not, we risk chased by Kryn all the way to Rexentrum.
Because now we're holding the football, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Any more attacks? If they saw that we have this thing, there could be more coming for us before we even make it to the city.
Yeah, and if they think we don't have it, they might think that we at least know where it went, or might want to just get revenge.
Jordy, what time of day is it right now?
So you guys have been traveling for most of the morning into the afternoon, give or take around, we'll say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
So by this point, are we going to make it to Rexentrum before nightfall, or no?
You guys are 3 weeks away from Rexentrum. You've been traveling for 6 days.
Okay.
22 days specifically. You've been traveling for about 6, so you're just over a quarter of the way there.
Do you have the means to set up traps of your own? Arcane means or anything like that?
Nothing arcane right now, sadly. The best I can do is, I guess, just make physical traps, but nothing arcane. Best I can do is identify what kind of lock this is, but I don't have anything else that I can do.
It might do us some good to just, next time we set out for camp, if there's a way we can try to see if they're still following us or trying to get at this, then maybe we can put that means to our advantage somehow.
A very good thing to do is, most tracing and most spells that track are usually for things in this dimension, and we have a bag that is not of this dimension, so if we just keep it in the bag of holding, we're probably safe for a little while at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I will I'll go back and see where the bag of holding is and put the box in for now, and once we're far enough from the explosions and things like that, and then making sure that there's nobody around, I'll spend some time to identify the lock to at least see if there is anything that can be done to unlock it without dying and without exploding again.
Okay, good to know. So taking your time very carefully, making sure that you put it away, do your best not to interact with any of them, what you would assume are the magical components at the front of it. Taking your time to cast Identify. Choose one object you must touch through the casting of the spell. You learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement, how many charges, how many spells are affecting it, and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, which spell. Okay, good to know. Okay, so casting the Identify spell. The box in and of itself is not magical. However, there is a spell affecting the box. And it is the Arcane Lock spell.
Okay. Cool.
So, Arcane Lock, just to confirm. You touch a closed chest, it becomes locked for the duration. You and the creatures you designate can open the object normally. You can set a password, then when spoken within 5 feet, suppresses the spell for a minute. Otherwise, it is impassable until it is broken or the spell is dispelled. While affected, the object is more difficult to break or open. The DC to break or pick it increases by 10.
Okay.
So, theoretically, as best you can tell using the Identify spell, that is the spell that has been cast on this to lock it. The interesting thing about it is, from what you can look at, make an investigation check for me. Because it doesn't have a visible lock on the outside.
That's what's worrisome. Okay, that's 10 plus 6 for 16.
16. Looking around at it, Arcane Lock has been cast on this. You do not see where you would even start to try and pick this lock.
Fuck. Okay.
There is no components that look like they are a traditional lock design. There's no hanging lock. There's no interlacing pieces. There are a series of grooves and channels, but nothing that matches what you would expect to see for a lock that you have ever seen.
Okay. This is very, very far beyond my capabilities. I can tell it's magic and I can tell it's locked with magic, but I don't know how long this will last on it, and I don't know what passcode there is to open it. There isn't any way for me to pick this lock even. We either go the legitimate way and give it to its owners so they can open it, or we find some way to dispel this magic, and that is, I think, much more doable. We can just, go to a magic store, say, hey, sorry, I forgot my password. Oops. Can you unlock this for me? And then they'll say, maybe if we pay a high enough fee, they'll unlock it. But
I think if you're going to have anyone to unlock it, you're probably going to want to have one of your fancy market friends do it, not anyone from the public. If this thing gets traced back to us that we're trying to unlock these things, it's probably not going to be good for us.
I have a better idea. What if we find someone who can sell us a scroll? That way, whatever spell we need, if it's something to suppress the lock or dispel the magic entirely, we can take that away with us, do it somewhere out of sight. We're adventurers. It's
are a genius.
To find scrolls.
Galahad, you take 4 points of psych. No.
What?
You goddamn son of a bitch! You're ruining my riddle.
No, you're good. That is one of the ways of doing it. It's just a joke.
That is very funny.
It's a genius thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Hang on,
that
let me
is.
just check what my int score is real quick.
+2.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I literally just saw Galahad's thing pop up on screen. Intelligence of +2. I'm like, all right, I'll give it to him.
That's fine. Big steps. Okay.
Anyway.
No. No. I think that would be a good thing. But the other issue is, I'm thinking more and more about this. This is absolutely the work of the assembly. I don't think anybody else would go to this length of making sure only a caster can unlock this, and only the people they want will unlock it. This is gonna be, the issue is if we unlock it, then we run the danger of that will be our point of no return. It'll be really hard to explain to the assembly why we opened it, why we went to all of these lengths. But I guess that's an issue we can figure out another day, or once we get there.
Yeah, let's just take a breather and realize that if we're gonna open this thing, it's a lot on the line.
Yeah.
We don't even know what this is or what the Kryn want. Maybe the Kryn want it to harm people from the Empire side. I mean,
yes, that's
no one
probably...
stays clean in war these days.
No, and that's would it do better? Would it do more good, I guess, if we keep it away from both parties' hands, or are we causing even more death and destruction by keeping it out of the Empire's hands?
Well,
The only way we can know that for sure is if we know what's actually inside.
If they're
You're
taking
right.
it to Hupperduke, that's not a good sign.
You're right. Yeah. I say we open it, and you know what? Whatever comes, but I think we can talk our way out of it still. I think if we decide we wanted to give it back, if it is as important as it seems, I mean, who would put an explosion that big? They would want it back in any way, shape, or form. They wouldn't care about us knowing as much as them having it back. I would hope. So, yeah, no, we open it, I say, and figure out the rest. What do you think? Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
We need to make an educated decision on what we're going to do, and we can't do that unless we know.
We kind of fell ass backwards into this work for hire situation. I mean, I don't really feel like being the cause of mass murder myself.
No.
Only it's done if it's done by these hay.
Okay, it's fair enough, Les Paul, and I agree. There's enough blood on my hands. I don't want any more.
I laugh for half a second at Les Paul's comment, and then I like catch the eye of the fucking sword that sucked the soul out, and I'm like, ooh.
No. Negative, Ghost Rider. Oh God.
Ghost Rider.
Okay. Does anybody who wants to hold on to the bag of holding?
I can hold on to it.
Okay. Here you go. And I'll pass it along then, and I'll leave the box in it as well, just to help with the tracing.
The box is inside the bag of holding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I will
So
put
you
it
just
into the
kind of
bag of
very
holding.
gingerly
And,
just...
Ah shit! Please don't explode.
Catch.
You kind of reach.
Cool.
You kind of reach inside, and you just like think about the box for a second, and you put it back in the bag. Doesn't seem to be reacting.
We didn't.
Bomb has been planted.
God.
Just what they
Spike
wanted.
planted.
Oh shit! Oh
So-
God!
Alrighty.
That was wild.
So you guys continuing on the road, a little bit of a slower pace, but trying to pick things up to make sure you get to your next overnight halt. The interesting thing here is the way that these roads have been designed. I kind of forgot to mention this before. Because each of the locations at a regular pace are very specifically designed distances away from each other. Every time you take an overnight halt, you're not having to pinch your tents on the side of the road or something. There are like hitching posts and caravan drop areas where you kind of pull in. Think like motorhome areas when you travel between cities that are kind of spaced out about even travel time between each other. It's only if you're moving fast or slow that you're not able to find one of these things. And so you've made your way and kind of stayed overnight. That's why you feel like, we haven't had to do watches or anything like that. It's because while you're on the road through these areas, it's a very well-traveled, highly mercantile trade route. So same thing applies with this one. You've lost a little bit of time, so you got to kind of pick it up a little bit, or you'll ride on into the night with that gigantic crater that's been created and a couple of dead bodies. It's probably going to slow things down, but because you guys are at the front of the pack, you're kind of able to get out in front of that. But you do see as you make your way around that, you start to push your way further into the Labenda swamp. There is a bit of a backlog. There are a lot of people that are stuck trying to get out. They're asking what's going on. You start to hear murmurings of, there was an attack. Some of the Kryn were across the border. There's a couple of Crown's Guard that ended up dead, right? A bunch of people that are just kind of tossing theories out. There's a creature outside of the swamp that came and attacked a caravan. The further you get away from where things actually happened, the kind of more outlandish the stories and the rumors are that you start to hear.
Classic Dwendalian whispers.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to I'm question with that. I'm gonna try and see if there's any mention of us, and if there isn't, I'm going to like bolster the rumors going around by saying like a monster from the swamp attack people. Like I'm gonna try and like I like that, and as long as it's leading people away from us, then the better.
Okay.
Like making sure like we're not
The TMZ tactic. I like it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tossing a false story to dilute the reality. I gotcha. Okay.
Got to give the people what they want.
Yeah. People inherently crave drama.
It was a lengthy older gentleman with white brownish hair and a long black coat with a red scarf. He did it.
You know what?
You're awkwardly
right.
end up describing your blood hunter.
Weirdly smelled like wet dog.
Exactly. I'm like,
blame it on
I
Washburn.
know this character. Washburn breed love.
Or like breed hate.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually. Yeah, I like that also. Like, just keep changing up the story every single time. Just like keep it going. So like, there's so many stories that nobody's gonna be able to tell which one is true. So by the end, even if the true story does come out, it's
a rogue band of capistry came through, and all their mushroom caps just flew out of everywhere and exploded the wagon in one fell swoop.
There you go. All right.
Yes.
So Phelan, with that, with you and Les riding up front, I'll let you guys both make charisma checks as you're kind of riding by and you're hearing the stories, and like essentially it gets to the point of like anytime you hear the true story, you're like, oh no, we just came from there. It was actually this, and you like try to convince them otherwise. So go and make either deception or persuasion, your choice.
I'm gonna hit that deception real quick.
All right.
All right, there we go. That is okay. So I rolled a 10 plus 7 for 17, but I really want to lay this on thick, so I'm gonna use my inspiration from earlier.
Let's go.
Thank you, Ivy. Yeah. And that'll be a 2, so that'll be a total of 19.
19. Okay, Les, what'd you get?
1!
Natty 1.
Oh,
all right. So Les, you
No one bought my mushroom story.
it's less about the mushroom. It's just like they're hearing these stories that are, and like kind of these little murmurings that are going through are, you know, some of them based in reality, some of them a little bit fantastical. You end up just taking it to the nth degree of fantastical. Living mushroom people came out of the ground and they threw bombs that were their own heads and those exploded. Oh, like it gets a little much that like a lot of kids are really enthralled, and then the parents kind of come out and go, "No, honey, just come back inside. Ignore the crazy looking man," right? Like those kind of situations start happening.
I'm a Triton, not a man.
But Phelan, yours are starting to catch on a little bit more. You're sticking in the grounds of reality of things like, you know, trolls in the swamp and a bunch of creatures like shambling mounds, these massive, grotesque versions of trees that are crawling out and end up wailing caravans and slamming these fists into the ground to create these craters. They're starting to catch on a little bit. We'll say, you know, a good number of people that are telling a story that vaguely is true end up getting convinced, like, oh no, I must have heard something wrong. There's no way the Crown's Guard would get defeated by the Kryn. There's no way that couldn't have been what happened. And so you're kind of convincing them that it's more of these aberrations and these monstrosities that are attacking, instead of the Kryn being the ones that are waylaying anything.
Yeah, okay, good, perfect. That's wonderful.
Awesome.
The way I'm like, I could just describe myself like I'm sometimes really good at lying and sometimes really bad at embellishing.
Yeah.
Like I think, like I like this idea of like Phelan trying to like spin a story, and I'm like, yeah, did this happen and this happened? Like, are you mocking me? Like, are you like insulting me right now? Like, no, I'm trying to go along with it. Yeah, no, this happened.
All right, so while you guys are up front doing that, Margot, Jules, Galahad, it's, you know, the next couple of hours, you guys are pushing on a little bit into the evening. Is there anything you guys wanted to do? Talk about what happened, anything that you saw, anything you're thinking?
I explain what happened to Gilda to the best of my ability.
Okay, and you see that she, like, at first is kind of, you know, oh, ho-hum, it's the Kryn versus the Empire, what else is new? And then you mentioned the bomb, and she just, what did it look like? How big was the crater?
Well, I point to Galahad and Jules, and
oh, you guys got fucked up.
Yeah, they got royally fucked.
Oh, wait a minute. Phelan, do you got like chalk or paper or something really quick?
Yeah, here. What are you trying to do?
I
Okay,
like
well,
try to sketch out the ruin that I saw, like imprinted into the ground.
Okay. Make an intelligence check for me.
Oh fuck, this is an important thing.
Don't fuck this up for me.
This is a dick.
Jester?
The sign of the Dick Bandit. Strike
Jester
again.
Lord?
Yeah.
A traveler strikes again.
Nope. 2.
2.
You fucked it up for
yeah.
me.
It looks like a dick.
Yeah, so in your case, like, you draw something on the ground, and you're like, oh, this is what I saw. And then you draw it, and it's a circle. It's a really big circle with, like, a whole bunch of
This is what the
sketch
crater
lines in
looked
the middle.
like. It was crazy perfect, sir.
And it is a very good circle. It looks, you know what it looks like? It looks like, oh man, this is such a specific reference. Scary Movie 3 with the kid who's drawing the ring circles, where he's just like drawing circles over and over again, or like the girl from The Ring who's drawing the circles. It looks like that. And there's like the occasional gaps here and there, but less you're like, no, it was different. And then you like fill in the gaps where it's just a fully blacked out circle.
Now I want donuts.
But you totally, you see it. You see all of the lines in the circle, and you show it to everybody else, and they just see a big black circle.
I mean, you know, you might have to like cross your eyes and focus it a bit. Maybe that'll come through eventually. But
Do you see the ship?
do you see the sail page?
This isn't a
Why are you
Rorschach
showing me a
test.
picture of my parents fighting?
Yeah, there is no Easter Bunny. Dude, there's just a guy in a suit.
Just Rorschach Gilda.
Yeah.
Don't look, and I like cover her eyes.
She's like, I see the portal my dad was pulled through.
No.
Ah, it's not fine. We don't fucking need this. Crumple it up and just throw it.
Oh God.
Don't traumatize the young one more.
I didn't know she was scared of circles. I'm sorry. It's not a common fear.
I mean, yeah, but we still gotta respect it. We're not animals.
It's fine. She's scared of holes. Never show holes to this. Never mind. Not gonna. Hey, let's keep going.
What?
Yeah. Tis a dash.
Galahad is in Sentry's rest mode this entire time and has been completely motionless.
And on that note, I continue explaining to Gilda that we legitimately, at least I, didn't know what was understanding.
Yeah.
And Jules got blown to smithereens. Galahad was singed, charcoaled. At least it wasn't rust.
Yeah.
Exploded.
Yeah. And Les Paul just stole a soul.
It's true. I did. It was really fucking cool.
It was terrifying.
And you
is
see
what
that
it was.
she is just enraptured, like ho-hum about the attack from the Cuillin. Like that happens all the time, and you know, Crown's Guard soldiers, good. They screw those guys. But as soon as you start talking about the bomb and the explosion and all the stuff that you found, like she's legitimately excited.
All right. One thing I can ask you, Gilda Gloria, Gildy lady.
Gilda.
Take out the short sword.
Mhm.
Kind of grab the sort of like pummel the blade a bit, so she's looking at the handle. These crystal things on the pummel here. Pretty sure this is the cause of soul extraction. Is there a way to take these crystals off and put them on another weapon?
Oh, sorry, you're talking about the 9 Life Stealer.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that this is where like a description of the blade is a little bit weird. I realized that the one that I'd sent you guys, the description of that is actually not correct. That was the one that we used from our old campaign. With this one, with the short sword, what it is the blade itself has hollows cut in it, and inside those are essentially clear, very hard containers, and in each of those containers are rubies. So the blade itself is what is absorbing the souls. In comparison to the previous version, it was in the pommel.
Yeah, I just had a crazy idea of being like, is there a way you could extract these and put them on like an arcane gun?
So that said, though, with her experience, she would look at the blade and just go, yeah, the way that magic crafting usually works is the item is crafted and you can't really take it apart and transfer it. If you do, it just loses all the magic. So
All right, that's fine. Don't stare at the blade too long. It's full of holes. All right, let's put it back.
holy rusty blade, Batman. Okay. So
Gilda, then, do we think, is there any way to replicate this, or I guess add on to, like, at least to the, you guess it can't be changed, but if we run out of this, it'd be nice to keep Les Paul, keep Les Paul's bloodthirst fed with that sword.
I mean, the whole thing with these is, unless you see anytime one of these gems reforms and then forms an actual new one again, these are a one and done. And I think that's the way that it is with this thing too. Usually enchantments like this are very powerful and are meant to be used in a limited amount of time.
All right, so maybe next time we want to keep someone alive if we go after them. Maybe keep this one
Yeah, maybe don't use that blade.
down there. Okay.
Maybe don't stab them with the soul-sucking sword of death.
I mean, how was I supposed to fucking know?
It was in the instructions.
I didn't read. How many fucking times am I gonna say this?
You always read the instructions whenever you have a new magic item.
That is so not true. You test it out until you find out how it works, and then you hold that over other people who read instructions.
That's how you get yourself killed. You're lucky that sword isn't cursed.
Yet.
Is it?
I mean, oh fuck.
And you see,
Is the
as
sword cursed?
that is mentioned, you see Gilda just kind of instinctively and like take a bit of a step back.
You're like,
Don't worry, guys. I'm sure the sword isn't cursed, right? Never mind.
Oh no, we never thought about
You
that.
naughty whackers bonkers.
I swear I've said this a few times about this fucking sword. I swear I've said it.
Ooh, naughty records,
You
It's
probably
fine.
have.
It's fine. No one touch it. I'm just gonna put it back in its old little leather sheath here and
Suck
just.
the soul out of him. Oh shit, no.
Holy crap, dude.
The soul is
no.
dark. Anyway, okay. So,
We'll keep on.
as you guys continue pushing your way in, Jules, was there anything you wanted to do? In the
No.
caravan? You're good? All right.
I just want to recover.
Okay, so
No.
we'll say that you guys were able to take a short rest. You know that it's probably going to be a pretty slow going, so maybe you use a couple of hit dice and you get back a little bit of hit points. But within the rest of the afternoon, it was about 4 o'clock or so by the time you pushed back where the crater was. Night has definitely started to fall. You're pushing forward. You're looking for that overnight halt, and eventually at the end of the day, probably about an hour or so after when you normally would have arrived, but still there, you see a turnoff from the path and a long series of hitching posts with a few wagons and horses tied off. A signpost nearby labeled Berleben, 21 miles, has a mud-caked arrow pointing north, with a second arrow labeled Zadash, 100 miles, pointed south.
Do we have enough supplies for a journey that long?
I was just gonna ask that.
So a journey, on average, at a normal pace, kind of just keeping with where the hitching posts are, you do about 20 miles in a day. So it take you pretty much 5 days to get to Zadash. On average, you guys have about 2 weeks of rations. You've been on the road for 6 days so far, so you would be able to make it to Zadash if you wanted to, or you could take a bit of time in Berleben if you wanted to restock on anything.
Does anyone know anything about Berleben?
Can I roll a history check?
Yeah, roll history check.
Okay, cool. 4 plus 7, 11.
11. City's not exactly that big. It's more of like a settlement for people that have to be there instead of people that really actively choose to be there. Bunch of sell swords, people looking to make a bit of money by exploring through the swamp. A lot of times there are illicit goods that end up traveling through that city as well. It's kind of one of those black marks on the Empire's record. Especially being surrounded by swamp, it's not like, oh, come and visit me in Berleben. No thanks. I kind of want to stick to my cities and stuff like that. as you're kind of looking around a little bit too, there are a decent number of people that are there on overnight halts. You see a bunch of fires that are lit up, and a few people are kind of out cooking different meats on that. You see some of the people that are coming in from behind you guys as you started to pick up the pace a little. They're starting to pull in after you, and they're hearing some of the stories and swapping stories with people coming in the other direction. Phelan, you and Les are kind of doing your same shtick, doing your best to kind of retune the story to be one that paints you guys in a non-existent light. You weren't there, right? You want it to be known as something else, and you do a relatively good job of that. But you two, in doing so, I'll get you guys to both go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Oh God. Oh no. What the fuck did we just do? That's a 1.
1? Okay. So you both kind of, in telling your stories and going around to these different fireside areas, making sure that you hit enough of these that you feel like, we've done a pretty good job putting out what our version of the truth is. You both hear a couple of rumors that are kicking around. Rumors of merchants inside the city of Berleben closing up shop, leaving because of how violent the townsfolk are getting, which is a little bit different. Phelan, you having spent enough time in the Empire as you have, and knowing a little bit about Berleben, the people who are here are not exactly the best. They're definitely a little on the shadier side, but it's not like they go inside places and actively choose to destroy them. But that seems to be like what's happening here, and you're starting to hear stories of a newer type of whiskey that's being introduced called Swamp Swill. And it's being kind of passed around a couple of the fires, given to a few different people, and anybody who tastes it, they're like, "Oh, that's really good. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Where do I get this from?" And a couple of stories that are going around that, oh yeah, Berleben is the only place that they're getting it. It's this very specific guy that sells it to all of the shops, and that people are getting a little bit.
Walter White.
Yeah, and that people are getting a little angry if they can't get their hands on it.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. I'll later on let the party know that I don't think Berleben is where we want to be right now. I know it's closer, but I say we trudge on. It seems like there is a lot of violent addicts there currently. I do not want to get mixed on with it. We have enough that we depend on that I don't think we need a dependency on anything else right now.
Agreed.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Okay. And I maybe it would. If there was a bounty there, I could go for. We could go find this person, but there is nothing in it for us, and I'm okay with dipping.
We don't
I
need
say
it.
we avoid it.
Let's just get to Zadash as fast as possible.
We don't need any swamp swill addicts stealing our stuff.
Not my issue, not my problem.
Yeah, we that's true though. We should keep an eye out on all of our things. Just make sure that at nights when we are sleeping, keep our watches vigilant and that nobody grabs any of our stuff, especially our bag.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Definitely.
I guess we'll head to Zadash. Take the left.
All right, so overnight halt there. There's a bunch of fires that are crackling. A couple of you guys get woken up by the occasional raucous laughter of a few people sharing some drinks around, and a little bit of a breaking of glass from there. What are you guys' passive perceptions, Margot?
Not good. 11.
11, less.
Passive 14.
14, Phelan.
13.
Jules, you said yours was 17.
17.
Galahad.
My passive perception is 10,
10.
but I will be in Sentry's rest mode with our baggage.
Mhm.
Just sitting there motionless.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Like a
does Sentry's
sleeper.
Rest do anything?
I look like I'm inert, like I'm offline. But I don't move. But I'm not actually unconscious, and I can see and hear as normal. But to the untrained eye, I'm off, whatever it is.
Okay. Alrighty. So Jules, in the overnight halt, you being somebody that is a little bit more easily awoken by these individuals outside, by the raucous nature of them, by the smashing of glass bottles and things, it eventually gets to the point where some people are getting really on the loud side. And you just kind of maybe peek your head out a little bit at them and just do the classic, really guys? Like, come on, we're trying to sleep here. But in doing so, you end up seeing that in the distance, far beyond where they are, further out into the marshlands, in and amongst the trees, you end up noticing some movement in the actual marsh, in the swamp. And you notice that there are 6 lizard folk that seem to be making their way kind of from the southwest side, off of the road completely. Definitely making their way through the muck and through the mush into the swamp. Oh, also, holy hell. Okay, Careful Cantrip, thank you for the huge raid. Appreciate you guys. 52 of you. Hi, guys. Yeah, you're just catching us at an awesome little overnight halt. But yeah, so Jules, you looking past where these guys are and kind of like, oh, God, I'm just so sick of this, and your eyes kind of glaze over for a sec. You see that there are 6 lizard folk pushing into where the kind of in the direction of where the road is following, but very much off of the main road. You just catch little glints of the moonlight through the trees against their scales, and specifically against some wooden crates. It seems to be like there's 2 of them, one in front and behind, and each of them is holding up one end of a wooden crate. So 6 lizard folk and 3 of these large wooden crates. They're easily a good 200, 300 feet away from where you are right now. So it's something where you can see them, but not very clearly. It's just that passive that was just high enough to be able to catch them in the middle of the night.
Can I roll a insight check to see if I can catch their vibe?
At this range, not really.
Is one of them wearing a doctor's lab coat?
No, this is not a Spider-Man thing.
Okay.
I will tap on Galahad.
The eyes open.
Boom.
I'm gonna go check this out real quick. If I'm not back in the next few minutes, come check on me.
Understood.
And she'll step out and stealth her way towards this group to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Okay. So you kind of push your way across the road and kind of side-eye the guys who are being loud, and they just, oh, sorry, and go back to their drinks. But you start to push your way a little bit further in, and the lizard folk that you saw are moving pretty quick. They don't seem to be impeded by the marshland, as best you can tell. They are moving fast. They are far enough off of the main path that they don't seem to feel like they need to stealth. That's part of the reason why you might have been able to see them in the first place. And as you kind of make your way across the road at a pretty quick pace, but making sure that they don't really see you looking at them, you see that they're pushing further north, further and further into the swamp.
Damn.
No, what is north?
North, the only thing that's north is the city of Berleben.
Oh, maybe they're going for that swamp swill.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it. Not my problem.
Okay. All right. So you just kind of clock it. Know the info.
Leave that town to get murdered.
Make your way back towards the caravan and turn into the light.
Lizard addicts.
They're not actively doing anything malicious.
Just lizards walking around.
Yeah, they're literally just lizards, one in the front, one in the back, carrying what looked like something is pretty heavy towards the town. That's about it.
Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah. All right.
It's a late night shipment. They're behind.
It's a late night shipment. They're also 21 miles away. The city is 21 miles away, so it's a full day's travel to get there. So it's not like they're going anywhere immediately that quickly.
They're gonna change people into more lizards.
Yeah, you never know. All right, so you kind of make your way back in. A bunch of the people by this point have started to fall asleep, and you eventually kind of let sleep take you and get woken up in the morning. Nothing seemed to happen overnight. Galahad, nothing really alerted you once you go back into sentry mode. So you feel pretty good waking up the next day. And you guys have got the path heading south away from Berleben and then continuing on to Zadash.
Okay.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so
Let's get out of this place.
as the day wears on, the ground begins hardening. The stench of marshland decay leaves you behind, with the road ahead meandering into what looks like a series of dilapidated stone buildings and one relatively intact temple. A couple of caravans that are following behind you. A couple of them are kind of pushing through in the city. And then in doing so, you start to hear a loud screech. Humanoid from your left-hand side. And you kind of look over and you see this temple with closed doors and a scream that seems to come from the second story of that. The dilapidated buildings are crumbling walls, missing doorways, pieces of roof missing here and there. Grass is long overgrown. The only doors that remain standing are the ones at the front of the temple. But you do hear this very loud screech come from inside the temple. And a couple of people just kind of like look around on the carts, and you're pretty early off in the morning. There's not exactly that many people in and around the area yet. The only wagon that you passed was one that kind of made its way through the town and on past it. Nothing ahead of you, nobody really coming up behind you.
I feel like we should speed up.
Either check it out or speed up.
That'd be right.
Not my problem. Not my solution.
Are we sure that there's one person and they're screaming? This seems less an ambush, more a person in trouble. They might have money.
And then at that point, you hear poof, as the doors to the temple get slammed open, and this individual stumbles forward, coughing and hacking. And Les and Phelan, you two are the ones riding up front, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think last because we were talking up there last time.
So we'll say that you guys continued on with the two of you up front. You kind of looking left, you see that this individual doesn't look like they're actively hurt, but their arms you see are starting to turn this odd shade of green. And
They are turning into lizard people.
Starting to cough up blood, and just kind of like looks over and release. Help me.
What?
I think it might be contagious. Fuck.
And this like big bulbous cough of blood comes up, and then he just falls forward onto the ground, unmoving.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jules is gonna go over and help.
Going over to help? Okay. All
yeah, she can't sit by and watch that happen and not go do anything.
Okay.
I'll go with Jules prepping up some healing in case it's needed.
Okay. Sounds
which
good.
is most likely going to be.
So, yeah. So making your way over, you start to kind of peer down at the individual, not entirely sure what the situation is, and very carefully, are you okay touching the person? How are you doing with?
Mage hand.
Mage hand? Okay. So you kind of use the mage hand with just 5 pounds of force, just try to like lift up the body a little bit. And you see that like in and around the nostrils and the mouth, you see these kind of black spider veins that are coming across the face as if, go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Medicine check.
Goddamn swamp swill.
10.
10?
10.
Okay. Yeah, taking a look as best you can. Poison? Maybe?
Oh, shit.
And this person has collapsed, and I'll go ahead and reveal part of what you guys see here.
Oh, wait, actually. No, I don't. That's a lie.
No, wait. Ooh,
Wait.
I thought I had an item. I lied.
I don't.
No worries.
There is...
Actually, I didn't lie. I do have it. I have an antitoxin. I'm going to take out the antitoxin and give it to him.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
All right. Let me...
I was right. I was
Yeah.
just looking at the wrong space.
All I have is acid.
I'm glad you said that Sid part.
I do have less restoration.
That
Okay.
too.
But
So-
I'm also in the cart, so no.
In the cart.
I also just want to use my items because I got a lot of them.
Okay, so you use this antitoxin, and you just kind of like, you can see the last couple of breaths, the breathing is ragged. He's collapsed onto the ground, but you just instantly take this antitoxin, throw it into his mouth, and make him swig it back, and you start to see those black spider veins just recede across his face and back up to his lips, and then all of a sudden this like black ooze almost starts to drip out of his mouth onto the ground, and
Don't touch it.
the arms, the green coloration starts to slowly vanish, and the pink and kind of darker skinned hue starts to come back to his skin, and the eyes snap open and and just coughs up this big pile of blood onto the ground, and the same black ichor that seemed to have made its way down his lungs, but tinged with a bit of green almost.
Too many Skittles.
Oh, we tasted the rainbow. No.
No.
What happened to you?
Sorry.
I was just trying to get a good night's sleep upstairs. Picked the wrong place to stop.
You just woke up poisoned?
It's like some gas cloud was chasing me.
In there?
Yeah, and he points up to the second story of this temple with the doors open to the front of it.
Oh,
Is this
God.
not your place of dwelling?
No, I'm making my way up from Zadash, and without a horse, it's pretty tough to make it to these overnight halts. So I figured I'd just spend the night here and then set out in the morning and be able to make it into the city later on.
Can I make some sort of check to see what type of church this is, like a religion check?
What type of temple it is?
Yeah.
Religion check.
Whose temple is it?
That's 5 plus 4, 9.
The
9.
temple is a part of the head.
Uh,
But
Go to
Yeah.
jail.
Go to jail.
okay.
Even on a 9, you kind of like from the outside, the temple doesn't really look like much. You could take a look at the inside and see if you notice any iconography, but like it's a pretty generic temple from the outside. The what the hell?
No!
Anyway,
Oh God,
There's ghosts in that temple!
the only thing that you do
Oh,
notice,
no!
the only thing that you do notice is hanging over the doors, the set of double doors, is a double-sided broadaxe that seems to be through the center of it, and it's kind of just a depiction. It's not an actual axe, but it's a depiction of an axe, and through the center of the axe look like there are a set of scales evenly balanced. And you, even on a 9, with your background in religion and knowing how many things are existing inside the Empire, you know that this to be a symbol of the Lawbearer, deity known as Arathis.
So you decided to break into a temple of a law god?
And he just kind of like sheepishly like leans back and is like, well, I figured that the law god would like want to make sure that I didn't die outside in the cold.
But laws. It's kind of...
I was gonna leave a coin. I was gonna leave some coin in the the communion thing, but there's nobody there.
Except for a poisonous gas cloud.
Yeah, well, it attacked me while I was sleeping. Well, I mean, I don't know how a poisonous gas cloud attacks you while you're sleeping, but it did that.
Like this.
Insight check.
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Check that man's
Fuck.
insight.
Yeah, my luck has run out. It's a 4.
4.
Damn.
Man seems pretty truthful.
Sure he is.
Okay.
Jules, you kind of like leaning over to where he is and getting a bit of a look inside. You see that there are 3 pews that look like they were maybe for different people to come in and worship. There's a large stone tablet that kind of serves as a functional altar on the far side. A few rugs on the ground, some empty, what might have once been bookcases or bookshelves that are long, dilapidated, and decrepit on the sides of the temple. You do see that there is a door on the far side of the temple as well. I'll show you the interior.
Nice. Tight.
Okay.
Ooh.
That looks pretty cool.
Pretty straightforward. And you see that the door on the far side of the temple is flung open as well, outward into the temple itself. And you catch like the faint little glint of what might be stairs or a banister of some kind inside that.
Yeah, I will kind of draw everybody's attention and just kind of Let's take a look, shall we?
Or we keep going as a dash.
And we can. I think if we close the doors and like make sure we barricade them and like have like big signs that said "Beware, gas cloud inside."
Really
Some
angry
poison
fox.
gas inside.
Don't
inside.
dead. Open
Don't go
inside.
in.
Yeah. I
Let's
think
just-
we'll be good.
Let's just take a quick check. Stretch our legs. Take a break from
How quick is quick, Jules?
About 2 sessions.
5 minutes in and out. I'm just curious.
Famous last
Okay.
word. Let's do it.
Okay,
All right.
we should probably hold our breath if we see that gas cloud, though.
You
Yeah,
might
Jules-
want to keep Sticky in front of you at all times. Just saying.
Do you want?
Do you want me to go in first?
Yes.
Jules is already inside. Jules has walked into the building.
I don't have to.
As soon as
breathe.
everybody was like, "Yeah,
Okay.
let's go," Jules just headed in.
Don't have to breathe. Immune to disease, resistant to poison. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No, it's fine. No, cool. You got blown up yesterday.
Wow,
so-
this group is so well put together all of a sudden. It's almost like
Don't give a fuck.
It's almost like we're completely getting off track shortly after we almost completely blew ourselves sky high. Wow.
I mean, yeah.
Jules is here to get shit done, even if that
Jules
shit
is-
is getting.
Jules is fully
Forward
aware that
like
this
in
isn't
normal.
necessary, but also she's curious.
I look
So-
back at the cart, waiting to see if I can see like Gilda like peeking her head out. or
And you can
something
see
along
that she's
those
peeking
lines.
her head out and is just kind of like, I want to come.
Do you want to come to the afterlife? That's probably where we're going.
Yeah, deadly fart monsters and lots of holes, lots of circles. You hate those. They're just everywhere.
Gilda, if we die,
I
blame
mean,
Jules.
you guys did almost send me there once. Well, the guy who's not with you anymore did.
Yeah, that was a misunderstanding.
I
On
would
both sides.
like to think that we grew as people after that point.
XP doesn't count.
Gilda, we've all improved since then. Some more than others.
I learned about charcuterie boards, so we grew.
I would like for you. You see how that guy like coughed up all of that gunk? I don't want that to happen to you. So I know you have been very good in staying in the cart.
But I'm
Remain in the
bored.
cart. I know you're bored. I know you're bored, sweetie. You're doing so good.
If you hear us all yelling and screaming and dying,
If
then
you
maybe you can like go get help and save us.
Being bored is better than being dead.
if you hear screaming, take the cart on a joyride north.
You see her like pull the dagger out, and then you say that, and she just kind of. And she's the dagger again. Just kind of nods.
Wait, no, we want to get away right here. As in, if we're in trouble, you know, up for that. Wait!
Worst getaway driver.
If we're in trouble, take the car and drive as
I'm not-
far away from us as you can.
I'm gonna chase after Jules as she goes inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Gilda one sad, knowing, pitiful look, and then I'm just gonna follow them in.
All right. Sounds good. So
Is this straggler coming in with us, or is he just hanging out here?
he's just kind of like, I'm pretty good to stay outside, to be honest. I don't really want to interact.
Nope,
with
you're
that
coming
guy."
in.
Gilda, if
I
he
took
does
that.
anything shady, stab him.
She just kind of pulls out the dagger again and come here. And he
We
just
should
kinda-
bring him.
Are we leaving the child with a stranger?
No, yeah, exactly. He should come with us. That way he can show us what happened. And then awaken.
Yeah, all right,
Oh,
that's
wait,
it.
don't leave Gilda alone with a stranger.
He will
That-
come with us. If he tries to leave us, Gilda will kill him.
Yes.
Gilda, you
All
got
right,
that?
this ain't a democracy. It's time to get this shit on the road. And I start pushing him forward. Into the
All right,
And
Gilda,
he
remember,
just kinda
if he leaves
stumbles.
without us, kill him.
Okay, gotcha. And she's just holding the dagger up in the air. Got it.
We are raising a little murder goblin, and I love it.
I forgot that Gilda tried to kill us. I keep
I
forgetting.
was gonna say they already were kind of murder.
She booby trapped my room how many times?
3.
Girl's a lethal killer.
So many.
So All right, so you guys kind of pushing your way inside past some of the pews, and he just kind of like begrudgingly at the shoving of less getting shoved through the room. You make your way past the pews up to where the stone altar is, and he just kind of points towards the staircase and the door at the back and just goes, "It's upstairs, second door on the right. Okay, it's all you guys. I'm just gonna take a seat right here.
Come with us.
And you just kind of shove him forward and like make him go. Are you making him lead the way?
Yeah, no, I'll lead the way. He can be behind me.
All right. So Galahad, you're leading the way, and you can see that he's like a little bit more willing to follow the giant metal man. So kind of making their way up to the top, and Galahad, you reach the top.
Door out of the way.
I'm gonna reveal something a little bit further off to the right.
Oh my god.
Oh
We're all gonna die!
So let's go ahead and reveal this. There you go.
Clearly the guy who was saved is responsible for the poison gas. As the saying goes, they who smelt it dealt it. Thank you, chat. We've solved this one. I'm going to cut this guy's head off.
So, Galahad, you kind of making your way up to the top of the staircase there. There is another open door. You can see that, obviously, that this guy was desperately trying to get his way outside, as best you can tell. And so kind of looking in through that open door, you see another kind of narrow hallway. And then in the hallway, you see that there are two doors, one of which is closed, the one closest to you. And then the one that is further away from you on the far end is the one that is kind of open in the same manner that the rest of the doors have been opened. A couple of, again, empty, what look like maybe hall tables that might have once held candelabras or books or bowls of some kind, long since stripped clean.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
And he just kind of leans around a little bit as you start to make your way in, and he just points and goes, "It's in the second room. Look, I don't know if you guys really want me to go in there. Like, I'd rather just wait in the hall. I don't know why you insist on going up in that place. Thank you for saving me.
We just want to keep an eye on you."
Yeah, just like when you bring canaries into a cavern, you know, if you start squealing, it's to help us all. All right, let's get it.
And he just and you can see that he's actively now trying to fight you guys and like lean up against the wall and not let you push him forward anymore. So are you trying to actually push him further into the hallway, or are you letting him kind of go off to the side?
No, I'll keep pushing him forward. Why the fuck not?
Right,
D&D.
He's going to actively try and resist you. Oh shit, with a 21. Roll an athletics check for me.
Well, son of a bitch. He's a slippery guess.
Maybe you're the slippery one and you just can't get purchase on it.
That's not true. It's not been raining lately.
Got you.
Fuck. Nope, that's a crisp 11.
Okay, so on an 11, he just kind of like does the, quick 180 and like rips his tunic out from your hand, and your hand is kind of stuck in the air, and then he just like scurries over. He's not trying to get down the stairs, but he scurries over into the little side where the table is and just kind of tucks himself into the corner and just, "Look, if you guys want to take care of this thing, you can. I think that I was about to die to that. Thank you. I appreciate it. You helped me."
Listen. What's your name?
My name is John.
John, we're not going to let anything happen to you. We just want to make sure that we're able to keep an eye on you due to the fact that we have a child underneath our protection out in the wagon. We just want to keep an eye on you to make sure that she's okay. You can understand the position that we're coming from, right?
I understand. There's also 5 of you, and I already almost died to that thing. I don't want to go in that room again. One of you can watch me in the hallway.
We'll leave the door open. Yeah, stay in the hallway.
That's fine. I'll do that. If y'all start getting attacked, I'm gonna run, because I don't want to die again.
Well, if you start running...
I'd like to walk into the middle of the room.
Alright, so you're walking into that room?
Yeah.
Okay.
While they're having that conversation, I'm just like, this is taking too long.
I'll head with you.
I just want to get to Zadash, so I'm going to brute this whole thing.
So...
Galahad really said, "We speed running."
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move you guys all upstairs.
I'm going to clip through the wall and go straight to the boss room.
All right, so we kind of moved all you guys upstairs. So you're in the hallway at this point. Do you want to go into the first room or the second room? First room is a closed door. Second room is the one that's open that he's pointing where the thing is.
Why not just go... Yep, we're going straight to that one.
Straight to the thing? Okay, sounds
Which
good.
is the second one?
Yep.
Oh,
Doors
yeah.
open.
So doors open. You kind of peek your head in, and you see on the right side of the room there looks to be a large wardrobe standing maybe about 6 feet high, double doors, one of which is slightly ajar. And as you kind of make your way around and just your heavy footfalls, you're not actively trying to be stealthy, your footfalls end up landing. And as soon as you kind of peek in through that doorway, you start to see a bit of green fog start to emanate from inside that cabinet. And rapidly, this roiling mass of it starts to come out from there. And that is going to be where we end off our session for this week.
Fucking bugger.
And
It's a fart monster.
The thing that
It's
you
a fart
see,
monster.
if you take a look at Roll20, is that.
Oh my god, it's a fart elemental.
It's 100% it.
As it is literally a
The vacuum
writhing
cleaner.
mass of green cloud that just starts to snake its way out from within the closet and then ends up kind of making its way towards you. And we'll kick off next episode with you guys rolling initiative against whatever the hell this thing is.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any incense?
Vacuum cleaner?
You're just gonna light.
Cleaner,
You're gonna light the fart. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Margo, get in there!
What's gonna happen, Geordie? Am I gonna take 65 damage?
I'm
I
just
like the
saying,
fort.
if
It was 10d10.
you've ever taken hairspray and a lighter,
Yeah,
this is just a lighter and a fart.
so much fun.
arson.
That lands
Fire.
as a chaos
Fire.
demon, alright?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for everybody who stuck around with us. We appreciate it. We had a bunch of raids come in right at the end there from a few different people. We had a gigantic raid from Careful Cantrip. Thank you guys for sticking around. Another raid came in from, who was this one? Oh god, Tabletop Titties. Hey.
What?
Raided-
Great channel name.
Great channel name.
Yeah,
And
haven't you
then-
heard of Titty RPG?
What?
What?
Who doesn't love some titties at the tabletop? Like, seriously.
I love TTRPG. It's my favorite RPG.
Mhm.
TTRPG.
Oh, TTRPG. Haha. Haha. Hell, you're so funny. Anyway. Leave it to the bottom. Leave it to the flyby femme. And thank you also, thank you also, Skull, for initiative. Appreciate the raids of you guys coming in. Appreciate all the subs and all the bits. We love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. For those of you who are new here, we do this campaign bi-weekly every Tuesday. This is a campaign that we refer to as the Fey Lie. It is a campaign that is very much a homebrew one, but it is set in Matt Mercer's fantastic world of Wildmount. So these are characters that started out their adventure in Hupperduke, made their way down to Felderwin, and are now heading on to Zadash, and then eventually on to Rexentrum. So we're going to be back
On our
hopefully
way
in...
up Walker Goals.
Yeah. So hopefully we're going to be back in 2 weeks for the next episode of this one. If you want to check anything else out on our channel, we do another show on Mondays called Beyond the Realms that my player here, Les Dicecream Sandwich, ends up DMing that one. That is a weekly one that is very Marvel, not so much DC, but like Marvel fantasy.
It is a pop culture hodgepodge homebrew amazingness.
Yes, where one of the characters has Thor's hammer, another one was infected by a venom symbiote, and it's currently in the Feywild where they're following Loki. So awesome things that are happening there. And the other one is our last one, which, Kev, is your Well Beyond the Witchlight campaign.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be next Tuesday with the awesome Quincy's Tavern, Jennings Brower, Jacqueline Chan, and Shane O'Walley.
Yeah, so
Session
amazing.
3.
Which is amazing, and you guys are finally getting introduced to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. So if you haven't
Yeah,
seen...
that just happened last time.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen any of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight stuff, definitely check that one out. It's worth it. But for now, we're going to say goodnight to all of you. We love you dearly. Stay happy, stay healthy, wash your hands, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Bye. Yep.